And welcome back to episode 160 of the Hit the Showers podcast, presented to you by the Foolproof Entertainment Network. As always, I am your host, Clifford Jordan Jennings, here with my point man and co host, what we call him, Malcolm Le'Veon Bell head ass King.
Le'Veon Wish. Le'Veon Wish. What's going
Oh
on, Cliff?
shit, cool. Just another one. You know how I go.
And it's Wednesday. It's NFL night, baby.
Listen, how you feeling?
Feeling good, man. I was ready for the show. Can't complain. It's our time to shine. How you feeling?
Shit, I'm cool. I'm cool. Let's get into it. It
That
has
will be
been
starting
a
off with.
has been an interesting one, if I do say so myself. Where my notes at? Let me get my shit right here. First and foremost, I would like to say that Britt won the pick'ems last week.
Oh man.
She definitely won them. And what's funny is she pulled Mike on you.
She took a lot of my oh wait.
You know
Uh
what? No, it's interesting. It's even more interesting, right? Because you and Coach Mike and Britt all tied for 6 out of 8.
okay.
The issue is that Britt called the Saints game and got Saints by 3. So she pulled a U and edged y'all out off of the calling the spread this week
You know what?
or
We should
past week.
we should disqualify her because if you go back and look at the tape, a lot of my pick'ems that I gave Fred, she copied the same. She said, "I'm gonna go with Malcolm. I'm gonna go with what he said."
Nah, you can't say that.
Got it
And
though. She got it.
nah, y'all ain't had no matching scores other than the
She did
Lions.
it.
Oh, the Lions and the Niners.
I
Yeah,
said I
she
know
did
there
that.
was at least a
If I'm
game.
keeping it a buck, y'all all bit my Lions. Y'all all bit my Lions 7. Straight down the line. Everybody wanted a fucking Big Mac
Oh,
combo.
that's when we did the set. Yeah, the set lucky sevens. It was four lucky.
Mm-hmm. It was me, you, Britt, Coach Mike, and Q actually sent it in his
I
text.
seen that.
Lion 7. So everybody picked Lion 7 except for Darren.
Of
And that
course,
motherfuckers won by 3.
of course, man. That's crazy.
Well, shit, let's get into that game then. Fuck it. The Lions Jets game. I mean, I saw it coming a mile away, but I will say it was a lot better game than I expected it to be.
Yep.
I will say that Jared Goff threw for 60.5% completion, 252 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 88.9 QBR.
Pretty impressive.
Yep. Now here's the kicker, right? Because they decided to put Zach back in since
That White's
Mike,
hurt.
yeah,
Mike
since
White.
Mike White's out, the king in New York. He more like the prince right now. That motherfucker ain't playing no way like no king in New York.
Right. No.
But Zach Wilson, they decided to put him in. He threw 51.4% completion, 317 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 89.8 QBR.
That's not terrible for
It's
him.
definitely not terrible. I don't like the 50% of your
Right.
passes to get 300 yards. You know what I'm saying? That's questionable there, but I'm not upset at the performance.
Yeah,
But
that's
at the
not
same time, let me run some stats by you.
okay.
Because although I keep screaming, put Flacco in, and I will say that was what my although for is that I will say it makes more sense to start the young guy.
Right.
But my question is if the young guy's not producing and you actually have a shot at making something happen this year, why wouldn't you go with the win? You know what I'm saying? That's my biggest issue. And I know everybody always says how much they don't like Flacco, but look at these stats, right? Zach Wilson is currently sitting at, on the season, 1,596 yards, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's on 8 games played.
Okay.
Now, Joe Flacco is currently sitting at 902 yards on the season, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in 3.5 games. That's all I'm saying right there. I'm not saying that Flacco is the greatest quarterback. Not by a long fucking shot. But with the way the Jets are playing this year, and they're playing decent, especially that defense. That defense is a team that, when playing on all cylinders, teams are scared to come see.
Right. I agree.
So if you got something like that, why wouldn't you want to see how that produces in the playoffs? And I'm not saying you can't still make it, but you can't really, given the division.
Right. I think it's because Flacco's just supposed to be an insurance policy. Like,
I mean,
if you
clearly.
if you start him right and he gets hurt, then what do you do? Right?
Put the young
Because
boys back in.
right. But if that's the case, you might as well keep the young boys in. And if they get hurt, then you say, okay, well, we'll go to our veteran. Like,
but what if they don't get hurt and you just fall short of being able to make something?
Well, what if they don't get hurt and they just perform bad enough and then you just pull them like you had before? You know what I mean? I think that's what that's probably the mindset is. Let's give the young guys a shot, and if they play bad, we'll bring in our insurance policy rather than let's just bring in the insurance policy and then he plays bad and then what do we do or he gets hurt?
Right, and I completely understand, but I just feel like we are in the era of football where I expect to have it now. You know what I'm saying? I expect my rookie quarterback to come out of college and be a top of the line NFL quarterback. I expect my running back to get 100 yards a game off of 20 carries. I expect, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's all these things where, like, back in the day, it didn't work like that. And there's a reason it didn't work like that. You needed those old heads to show the youngins how to come in here and operate. And right now, we're in an era where it's like, nah, youngin, you take it over, we'll sit the old head. But they don't learn from that. You can tell right now that Zach Wilson isn't learning from Joe Flacco. And it's awful. You can have the worst quarterback in the world. That does not mean he doesn't have something to teach.
Well, let me challenge you this. So we know Trevor Lawrence has been having success this year, especially as of lately. Well, who did he learn from? Who did he get a chance to look up to?
That's different. Some people have to get thrown in that position. The Justin Fields, the Trevor Lawrences, the certain people, because you seen what happened with Justin Fields. They tried to get Andy Dalton the shot.
They did.
They started him go.
They started him originally.
Right. He's now on the Saints.
Right. But my thing is, but that's what they brought Zach in for. Like, just like Trevor Lawrence, they brought those kind of guys in now because they're looking at them to take over now.
Right. Because we know that they didn't have Joe Flacco then.
Right.
When they got Zach. But what have I been screaming for the past couple years is that you do this over and over again. You do it with Mark Sanchez. You do it with Sam Darnold. You've now done it with Zach Wilson. What makes you think you can grab a quarterback collegiately and then they just come in and take you straight to the promised land? That's why it was so impressive when Mac pulled it off, because we ain't never seen a...
We'll see. And and see, that's the thing is I think because you are seeing it more, that's why teams are trying to do that. Like, just like, again, bringing up my boy, Hurts. Hurts wasn't supposed to do what he did last year and take him to the playoffs. No one's expecting that.
Right.
And they threw him in, and it's worked. It's worked. They threw him to the fire. You know what I mean?
He also, like we said, he also sat his whole rookie year. He got a couple games, but he sat. He still had to watch that quarterback. And what I'm saying is, even you can learn even from an awful quarterback, even if they're not doing the correct things. If you have someone on the sideline, a quarterback coach sitting with you, watching the game, coaching you, telling you where they expected the play to go right, and now you see where it went wrong, you learn from that.
Well, look at the other side of things, though, Cliff. You got Jameis Winston, who's a veteran in the league, and they people been upset and arguing lately that why hadn't he been playing? Why didn't you sit Dalton down a while back and let Jameis try to be
And I
Jameis?
can answer that. And I can answer that very fast because Jameis Winston has an unfortunate career. He was another one who I said he went straight to Tampa Bay from Florida State. Didn't get a chance to shed that image that he had in Florida State from stealing crab legs and doing ignorant shit, and went straight
Right.
to Tampa Bay, who did not help him whatsoever, might I add. Had
It
him
didn't.
running for his life for many years, to the point that he's leading the league in interceptions because he just has to get the ball out of there. So what
Right, right.
you've done is you've trained that man to survive instead of play the game. Now you come to an organization like the Saints where it's very militant. You're not surviving on our field. Okay? You're going to run the plays the way the plays are meant to be run. And
Right.
Andy Dalton does a better job of that than Jameis Winston, regardless of skill or ability.
I just feel like, everybody has their preference, right? Like I think some of the younger coaches want the younger guys. I think some of the older coaches are going. I think that's what it comes down to too. You're now coming to a point, Cliff, in the league where you got the Sean McVays, you got the, like we said, Matt LaFleur, you got the Kyle, and who do these guys all besides Aaron Rodgers?
Right. The young coaches trying to innovate and do different shit. I get it. Don't get me wrong.
So I think the tide is changing with the preferences with these coaches. They don't want because well, look at your boy Tom Brady, 45 years old, playing like dog shit. We know he's one of the greatest of all time. I know you say that you don't think he's the GOAT, but I'm just saying, like, that's an argument people have is he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT. But
he's the greatest. He's the greatest generationally, and he may be on paper the greatest of all time. But granted, the war you fought in, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't Vietnam, my G. It wasn't
Right.
like you was in the trenches. You was in a stage set up joint. Matter of fact, you had drone strikes and shit in your war. They didn't have that back then. That's
Right.
all I'm saying. So it's hard to say this is the best of all time when you didn't fight in, you know what I'm saying? You wasn't in what's it called? The shit they made Saving Private Ryan about. Normandy, the Bay of Normandy Bay or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? World War I, when they had to pull up on the beaches of Normandy and they was wiping everything. You wasn't in nothing like that. This war called football now is not fought the same.
It's not, but we have to admit that the skill, the talent has gotten way better now than since back in the day.
I would agree because that's what happens, you know what I'm saying, generationally. Right. People get better, bigger, faster, stronger, blase skit. But what I will say is you could almost argue that regardless of that evolution, they may not have been the best in that situation. You feel what I'm saying? Like you're making the, if you're evolutionary, if you're better, right, per generation, but your generation's game gets softer, easier, how do we judge correctly?
Well, and even bigger than that, Cliff, it's all about the systems too, right? Like we go back to the whole Micah Parsons comment, when he said, was it Jalen Hurts or is it the system? Well, it's a system tailored to him that he's thriving in, but if he wasn't in that particular system, he may not be the same Jalen Hurts we're seeing now.
No, you're correct, and I think I know where you went, where you were going with the argument. And I get what you're saying, but the system tailors it based on the game. So if they recognize that the refs are now calling more of this, then they're gonna gear their offensive playbook towards that.
But
you know how many teams, you know how many teams on 3rd and long just throw a streak because they know that's the highest likelihood of a pass interference call?
So you're talking about the analytics piece now.
It's all of that, right? It's all of that, because that's what I'm saying. Again, the shit that they're calling now wouldn't have gotten called back then. So
I agree.
At that point, is your Jamar Chase or your Justin Jefferson as good as a Randy Moss? You feel what I'm saying? And even
Yeah.
him, he was on the end of, he was at the beginning of when shit started getting called. Because I remember when you could grab a wide receiver's shirt the whole way down the field, and as long as you did not impede his ability to make that catch, it was not a pass interference.
Right. That's right.
So if
Well,
you
I mean,
got a cornerback that's going to play you rough like that the whole way through, are you as good as Randy Moss? We'll never know because the game's not done the same.
right. But I mean, I guess that's like, for example, like I didn't watch the young man you and I talked about offline that I said goes to Penn State. I didn't watch his highlights yet. But I know the game is different now, even compared to maybe if like 10 years ago when if I was him and I was in college, you know what I mean?
Right.
Now, the whole point I'm saying is like, I don't know. I don't want to like because I do agree with you. I don't want to like
discredit. I don't want, you're right, what you're saying. I'm not trying
You know
to
what I mean?
discredit anybody, but even NFL players will say the game is soft.
It is.
Soft. Even Tom Brady said it's soft. So you know, if he himself, the guy who has benefited off of this, he's Donald Trump. He's the Donald Trump of football. He's saying, I've benefited off of this system, and I'm telling you it's wrong.
You probably didn't get a chance to see the again, like the Monday night, Peyton and Eli little version of the.
No, I didn't. I didn't watch that.
I was telling you offline that they had, Ray Lewis on there, DeMarcus Ware, a couple defensive guys that played in the NFL before. And there was a particular play on the Monday night game when something got called, like roughing the like something along the lines of roughing the passer or something. And Ray Lewis said, "Oh, I couldn't have been able to play today." He said, "That's how I played my whole career. That's now a penalty. Like right. I don't know how I would be great now. How I would excel. Right. Everything is a flag." So I do agree with you. It is a lot softer.
You can't even leave your feet, like for instance, and I think I know what play you're talking about, where he got the tackle and he landed on dude,
yes.
and they caught it.
Yes.
And you got to think when you're Ray Lewis, where you leave your feet for every tackle, there's no way you can brace yourself to stop from coming down and landing on someone.
And that's what they're wanting. They want you to brace yourself.
And that puts the defender now at risk. Now you want the defender to be more susceptible for injury instead of the person that's getting the most yards. Like, come on now, that's where the game gets weak. That's why I say it's skewed to a point that I won't just recognize Tom Brady as the greatest of all time. I have an issue with time.
Father time. I that makes
not old age like father time. I'm just saying.
No, I know what you mean.
We're talking about the Steve Youngs and the Brett Favres and all of them from way back in the day. Even when you go back to Johnny and
Unitas,
and Joe Namath and all of that, they played a harder game than Steve played.
Your boy, who was your boy on the Bears? Cliff, they got hurt all the time. The quarterback McMahon back in the day. He was taking hits. They said McMahon, I think his name on the Bears, and I think was it the 80s or the 90s? Let me see.
You got me lost. The only person I gave a fuck about on the Bears back in the day was Mike Perry.
Jim McMahon. You remember him?
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he played I don't remember what.
I mean, of course.
He played 15 seasons for the Bears. Well, notably with the Bears. When did he?
I watched Walter Payton too because I did play running back as well. But Bears, the only person I was more, like I said, I've always been more defensive than offensive. I want to hit more than I want to get a touchdown.
Right.
So I like Michael Refrigerator Perry. And I told you I used to practice that shit where he said he used to have people smack him in the face to practice not blinking when people were, hitting at his helmet. I used to do that shit. As a child, I remember doing that shit as a child. Listen,
you would. Yeah,
I'm trying to tell you, it's a completely different game.
As much as I did not like, because it's relevant to what we're talking about, as much as I did not like.
Going after.
Yeah, as much as I did not like the hit on Jalen Hurts, because it's, me being biased, it's my quarterback, my team. I mean, if I was playing defense, that's what I don't even know if you've seen it. The hit on Jalen Hurts, how he got the sprained shoulder. I'm not sure if you've seen it.
I don't know. I
So
don't know if I recall.
the tackle you just recalled on Monday night is basically how he got tackled. Dude hit him, and he tackled him, and he
And he
fell
fell on
fell
his
on him
right,
on his
and he was
shoulder as
probably
he put
squared
all
up. You know what I'm saying? Right.
yeah all 270 or whatever
And
on
it
his body,
landed shoulder
right.
to grass. Right.
Now I didn't like it because against my quarterback's my team, but
But it
as a
shouldn't be an illegal hit.
yeah, I wasn't like what the
Now,
fuck.
it's different if you're driving someone into the ground. You know what
Don't
I'm
body
saying?
slam me.
Right, you know what
Don't.
I'm saying? Like if you're jumping to drive your body into him, I can see that being a flag. But just a regular hit where you fall, like, do you want me to lose weight now? Is that what you're saying? That a D lineman needs to weigh less to be able to,
That's a good point, Cliff.
like, that's weird. That's weird. We're all supposed to, like, you're supposed to be prime specimens, right?
Right.
Like you're
right.
professional athletes, you're specimens of the earth.
Right.
You're not a regular 6'4", 240-pound guy.
Right.
And you don't work a 9 to 5, so you have all your time to improve your physique and strengthen your frame. There is no fucking excuse.
Right.
There's
right.
none.
I agree.
I'm not talking about the CTE in the like I said, it's tough down the lines, right? But you know what you signed up for.
Right. That's the game. That's what you
know. And I understand insurance policies with the NFL are devious. I get it. But that's what the Players Association and all of them should be fighting for. To continue insurance after, years after retirement. We got to cover these motherfuckers. Right. They entertained us for so long. So you can make all these millions off of them, but you just cut them to the wayside once they can't make you no more money. And now you got Warren Sapp on podcast trying to tell you the back ends of what's really going on behind. Come on now.
Yeah.
Now you're reducing greats to talk. Like, come on now. It's just all crazy to me.
Propaganda, as they say, Cliff.
But to wrap up that conversation about the Jets Lions situation with Joe Flacco and Zach Wilson and Mike White and all them.
Right.
If everything happens the way I would hope it happens next year and the Raiders do pick a quarterback up in the draft, I would not at all expect them to start him immediately. I would rather Carr play. We on 17 games, 18 weeks. I would rather Carr play a good 4 or 5 of them and let that young man sit down and watch whether he sees mistakes or learns something and then come in with, enough time.
I got bad news for you, Cliff. I think the only way that Carr, you don't see him play is if he gets injured.
And I told you I would never prey on somebody else's downfall. I wouldn't do that. Now, I'm not that kind of person to pray that something happens to a motherfucker, but man, do I hope Carr rolls an ankle and doesn't recover.
Remember how you felt?
Doesn't recover to be able to make it back on the field is what I mean. I don't mean anything crazy like that.
Remember how you felt about Al Davis? She's like, man, I'm not saying
I'm sure a lot of Raiders fans felt that way. I won't wish death on nobody.
Right.
But
I can't wait till the power.
I can't wait till the shift occurs.
The shift occurred. And so what I'm wondering.
And now I'm like, damn, Al might have been on this compared to what we got now.
Mark Davis.
Better the devil you know. That's what that is.
And I'm wondering, Cliff, I'm going to use a different word tonight. I wonder how enamored Mark Davis and the Raiders are with Carr, because they have to be. They have to for you to
enamored, upset. Is that like an upset thing?
Fascinated.
Okay, I follow. Enamored with what? With Carr about what? Explain.
Just
I'm sorry.
In general. No, you're good. Just in general, like I'm really feeling like from top to bottom, at least maybe overall, that they really do like Carr. Like I'm really convinced, like. Because it was the same problem with Wentz. Wentz wasn't there as long as Carr, but I meant it took a lot, Cliff, if you remember, for them to push him out the door. Like they were really trying to hold on to Wentz. Like I don't know why. Like, but
Well,
they
I
were.
mean, he had an amazing front half of the season his rookie year.
He did. He almost won MVP if he
That's what
didn't.
got y'all to the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, that's what started the run to the Super
Well,
Bowl.
you
That's
know
not
what
what
I'm saying.
got us.
No, that's
Right,
what got
right.
y'all to the Super Bowl.
No, he is.
Oh yeah, he went on like an 8-0 run.
That's like playing a video game, and I'm playing the first half, and then my kid.
Fozy, listen, Fozy, and you know the Fozy I'm talking about. So, Long John, keep your head up. but
Fast forward.
you stupid as shit.
Uh,
But he would not have been able to keep y'all into a position to make that playoff run. Already had Fillmore Foes. That's why it didn't work like that. You feel what I'm saying? But once again, what do I say all the fucking time? Playoff ball is different ball.
it is.
You can't gauge your previous tape you have on Nick Foles off of playoff ball. That's different ball. Different plays get called. All that shit happens in playoff ball. That's how y'all got that championship. But don't make mistakes about it. Wentz got y'all there. That's a fact. It was a relay. He passed the baton to Foles, and Nick Foles brought it home.
But but that's the key word. You got to bring it home, because if you don't bring it home, it never happened.
I don't think you see that situation in reverse, though. I don't think you see that situation in reverse. I don't think you see a veteran quarterback get to the promised land, get hurt, and then the youngin bring it home. I don't think you see that. That's why they make stories about it with Any Given Sunday with Jamie Foxx and Al Pacino and all that shit, because you don't see that. Because it's a different situation. If you weren't prepared to start in a regular season ball game, you think you're gonna come into the playoffs as a rookie and just light it up to get a Super Bowl? Right. You gotta have some cojones to do that. And I'm not saying that we don't see it eventually. I'm just saying we haven't seen it yet.
Man, you're right. Unless Brock Purdy proves us all wrong.
Listen, that's a good motherfucker. That's a good toss out right there. Listen, that's possible too. But once again, I think their organization is interchangeable, like I've been saying.
Right. They got a strong. What I mean, they got
an organization makes the quarterbacks interchangeable. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they have pieces, like they said. I mean, I know Debo's hurt, but like, you know, got a run game, got a strong defense, very strong defense. Great coaching staff. So yeah, I mean, it is pretty much interchangeable, it seems like. But yeah, I agree, Cliff. I mean, we were talking about well, what did we move on to? We moved on from the Jets Lions. What was the main point we were getting at? I know
just the old quarterbacks and young quarterbacks, and
yeah, it is different. I mean,
I was saying that if the Raiders got a quarterback, I wouldn't expect him to come out the gate starting. That's crazy.
You seen what happened with Jamarcus? So
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to expect that. But let's move on, because we did just talk about the Lions and the Jets. Let's move on to that Raiders game. First of all, I will be the first to say I picked Pats 10.
I did. I don't know what I picked them by, but I know I picked the Pats.
You picked Pats 6. Britt and Q and Darren were the only three that picked Raiders. And I only said 2 because Q's came in through a text. I wasn't thinking about it. But yeah, that's a 30-24 win by the Raiders. Derek Carr throws 52.6, 231 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 86.6 QBR.
Not bad, Cliff.
Which is less than Zach Wilson's, by the way, just to let you know. Less than Zach Wilson's quarterback rating, I would like to add.
But he's more consistent than Zach Wilson.
He is. That he is. But he's still not him. He's not the guy. They're both in the same boat where they're not the guys in their organization, and nobody can seem to see that that's the case. The Jets are starting to with Mike White, but
that's why I said I think that there must be a deep love for Carr in the Raiders organization for you to stick with him. Also, that's just how you guys. Y'all were almost. You can't
say nothing because even Rich Gannon got us to the Super Bowl.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm saying. He's the last quarterback that we can say we did this to. What you're trying to explain?
But he was a game manager. He wasn't
Doesn't matter though. There was love for him because he had multiple playoff wins in different years, mind you. He got us to a Super Bowl, even if he got kind of fucked out of it.
I mean, y'all just had better put teams, if I'm being honest, with Rich Gannon than y'all do now. I mean, way better.
I guess you could say. He had Tim Brown, Jerry
Charles
Rice,
Woodson, Tim Brown, Warren Sapp. I mean,
but they were also on the end of their legs. Tim Brown wasn't. He had Tim Brown.
They still were ball. They made it to the playoffs and to a Super Bowl. Like they were still producing.
Right.
Still had enough gas in the tank to get you there.
Right. But I'm saying it's not like Carr. Like he's had young talent his entire career.
And who was the coach of the Raiders at that time during those times, Cliff? Like, you know, that might make a difference too. Like,
I can't remember. Like you said, it's 6 and 9. Right. See, after a while, I stopped memorizing the Raiders. That's the honest to God truth. After a while, I'm not gonna lie, I stopped memorizing the coach of the Raiders because it's like, it'll change soon. So who is he? I don't know. You got to prove something before start looking up names and shit.
That's true. But no, I just think that, you know, I mean, the Raiders. Cliff, I remember when I used to pick the Raiders on Madden. I'm talking about like Madden 2000, 2000, 2002. Like I would pick them to play with. Like I would run games with them. Like I'm about to fuck somebody up with these as a kid. Like y'all used to be, like you said, somewhat of a powerhouse. I just wonder, like you said, like what shifted. Like I know there's different coaches, different. I get that, but I wouldn't
say that we've ever really been a powerhouse.
Y'all were back in the day with the Raiders and the Steelers and the Cowboys. There was
Marcus Allen and what's his name? God damn, the safety we had.
It was a good thing.
Tate.
It was a hell of a thing to be a Raiders fan back in the day. From what I understand.
My dad's era.
Right. Your dad growing up was a happy, I'm sure, proud Raiders fan, right? You know what I mean? To where I always joke around. I'm like, damn, Cliff ain't even see a championship yet since he was born. But on a serious note, it's like you're coming up under a different Raiders, obviously, than your dad and them did.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Very clearly.
But it's like what made the drop? What caused the drop off? Is what I want to know. Same with Dallas, Cliff. I'm asking the same questions with Dallas. Y'all used to be a powerhouse too. Y'all used to be big three and this.
Well, I don't mean to cut you off, but did Al Davis own the team back then?
Probably. I think so. I'm going to see how long he owned the team.
Listen, because I'm telling you that, man, and maybe he started getting senile on us and, still wanted to keep making decisions type shit. Because don't get me wrong, I love my guy Sebastian Janikowski, but that first pick, it was like a pick 12 of the first round. You go with a kicker, Sebastian Janikowski, when we listen.
Al Davis, Cliff, was the principal owner and GM for 39 years. Let me give you the exact time frame. From 1972, the year my mom was born, till 2011 when he passed. That's how long your boy was reigning and running the team.
Yeah, keep it a buck, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but he had to have been going senile in office.
What's that?
Yeah, and making picks that were just bugged out, and people was like, "Nah, he's running this. You gotta let it go."
You helped me answer my own question because I just said to you, I said the Cowboys on the same boat. Duh, we talk about their owner all the time. They're Al Davis all the time.
Right.
Yeah. You know what?
After a while, it has to be a change of guard, and I understand it's ownership, right? See, that's what's interesting about the NFL is that when you pass shit down to your kids, that ownership is involved. And when it
Right.
comes to NFL ownership, you have to have somewhat of a background, at least in the sport, in recruitment and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? To have an understanding of how to run a team.
I'd
And
say
we
basketball.
know that the Davis family is not good for that because you passed it down to the daughter
Mark.
first.
Oh.
I can't remember her name, who I actually liked more than Mark. And then it got to a point where I was like, we gotta get somebody new. And they brought Mark back in, and I was like, and now we're here. Now we're here.
I wonder what Al would be saying if he were still alive.
I mean, Al couldn't be mad on paper because you look at it all from an ownership standpoint, and you're like, it all makes sense, right? You got a quarterback who gives you almost 5,000 yards a season. You got the arguably top 1-2 wide receiver in the league.
Top 12 now, but yeah.
Right, you feel what I'm saying? Why is that, right? You saw that clip I sent to you and Q this morning, didn't you?
Oh right. No, oh, I did. I seen them. I didn't get a chance
to. It was a little vine, and it was of like some, I don't want to call it nobody we would know.
Okay.
Like just some regular people made a clip of how Davante lines up on the line and does his route with Aaron Rodgers and how he lines up with Derek Carr. And it was all the same shit, right? But the difference was who was passing him the ball. And it was just like, it was a good clip. I just wish it would have went on a bit longer. Like if they'd have added him upset, pushing somebody at the end, that would have made it perfect. Like, perfect clip right there. You going viral.
To show why. Now, the interesting thing, Cliff, kind of going back between the owners, it says that Jerry Jones took over Dallas in 1989. So I'm not sure how long, well, you're born in 86. So,
right.
so 33. So what, 33 years he's been running the Cowboys. Now, he was the first owner in NFL history to lead his team to 3 Super Bowl titles in his first 7 years of ownership. That's impressive. But since then, bruh, hey, yeah, you see now too then. Something ain't right. You had hell of a team.
I'm not lying. Listen.
Hella teams.
Superstars. I'm not even trying to hate. I'm just saying something has to be the case because it's like you're not there. Your decision making isn't there anymore. You might have lost the step. You know what I'm saying? And you do that as you get older. A lot of people lose steps mentally as well as physically.
And when you're that rich, you probably got your hand in more than one basket. You know what I mean?
Right. Like you're probably stretched thin already. Let's be honest. Like you're skating. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But what I will say is that Kyle Duggar,
sounds familiar,
cornerback for the Patriots, jumped the screen. Beautiful screen to Davante Adams, and I don't mean the screen itself was beautiful,
but just the way he interfered.
Jumped, beautiful interception and ran it back for a touchdown. It was set up for that, and they were only on like the 22-yard line or something like that, but it was just so beautifully done. I wasn't even mad at it.
It was the Belichick way.
It was just a beautiful jump of this. He knew what play. Somebody told him what play was called.
Right, like probably film too. Like
watch the screen. It's second and so. They're gonna throw a screen to Davante, and he remembered that shit and was like, got him.
Right.
It was so beautiful. You gotta look it up. It was beautiful.
I have to see that.
It was a beautiful fucking screen. But at the end of the day, Raiders couldn't stop the run. Ramondre Stevenson had 172 yards.
I seen that he was getting off.
Come on now. Come on now. You couldn't stop the run.
And where's Mad Max at?
Well, Max Crosby was doing his thing even in that. He was doing his thing in that game. But, I mean, that motherfucker can't be. He ran Mac Jones down. Mac Jones had a design run, a rollout. Fake handoff to I can't remember who it was, probably Stevenson, and rolled out the opposite way on a design run, and everybody bit, even Max. and Mac saw he was rolling towards the sideline, do you notice big ass motherfucking white defensive lineman that I had ran Mac Jones down? It was only like a 1 yard gain. And he had him beat by at least 10, 12 yards.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
Man. And his angles are great too. But you gotta have good angles in that level of sports.
Right.
But I watch for that. What angles does a motherfucker take to get to? And his angles are beautiful.
I remember that in practice.
Them angles.
Yeah.
They focus on them. Yeah, tell you how to. But if it wasn't for Chandler Jones with the walk-off interception, lateral interception, I should say, because it wasn't an interception, but
that play was insane.
What does that go down as, a fumble recovery return for a touchdown? Because it's not a pass because it's going backwards. So it would have to be a fumble recovery, I would imagine. Because it looks like an interception, right? But it's not an interception because it wasn't a pass. So I would imagine he got a fumble recovery and a touchdown off that play. And while you're looking that up, you got to give Chandler Jones P's because it wasn't just no straight running to the end zone. My nigga had to stiff arm and hurdle dude and still made it in.
But like fumble is a fumble lateral.
Fumble. So it's a specified fumble recovery.
Yeah, fumble basically, lateral.
Right. That makes sense, though. I can get with that.
But, I mean, the way Mac Jones, he gets to early hit the showers. I understand you're a quarterback. But like they said on different sports shows, all you had to do was try to slow him down so that somebody on your team can help flag him down and take him down. Like,
wait, on Chandler Jones?
Yeah.
No, because it was a oh yeah, you're right. You are right.
Because he delayed. Well, they broke it down. They broke it down more on Undisputed. But if you rewatch it, he delays himself, and then he allows Chandler Jones to stiff arm.
Oh, is that he's the one who got stiff armed? I wasn't even.
Yeah, it was Mac. Mac is the one that got he went
that's
out.
Why he did that to him.
He went out sad.
I mean, what can you expect? Because I mean, you lucky that man didn't really. He was going for the win, right? Because I know it was no time
for the ankles.
But I'm thinking, yes, as Mac. But even that could have got a penalty called.
How you going for the ankle? Oh, I mean, if anything,
because defense can't even do that anymore. They can't even go too low, or it's an issue.
Well, as he got stiffed arm down, he should have been able to wrap his legs around.
He's not a defensive player. That motherfucker's arms no throw. They don't know wrap.
But we didn't. I mean, I've seen quarterbacks, somehow make a stop.
Some of them are built like that. But even when you see a quarterback get a stop, his wrap isn't beautiful. He's just hitting you, trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or a shoestring tackle because you're not strong enough to stop the man. But what I was going to say, if Chandler Jones so choose to, he could have lowered his shoulder and punished you. Because now I'm on offense and you're on defense.
Yeah, but I think still when it comes to quarterback, I think there's still certain rules on how you can.
Man, get the fuck out of here. If you choose to try to step in front of me to stop me on this run, I can decleat you. And that's factual.
Yeah, I think they can't be defensive. There's some kind of, I think they probably.
Well, no, you're thinking of if it's an interception and the quarterback goes for. If the quarterback is going for the person running the interception back, you can't block or initiate in a block against the quarterback until you see the quarterback go for the player. Like if the quarterback just stands there when it's an interception, you can't run up and just hit him and say it's a block. But if that quarterback chooses to go after the player who got the interception, at that point he's an open man on the field and you can block him. But that's different. When you're on offense, they can't call a penalty like that against you. I'm on offense.
You're right. That's true.
So if I want to run you over, I can run you over. I just think it was a situation where he didn't feel like he had enough time to do so from the person that was coming behind him.
He was stunned. You could tell he didn't know what he was doing.
He definitely stiff armed him and hurdled his
He did
reach at
get
the
him
same
bad.
time.
He did him bad. That's why he did him ugly. That was a good win by the Raiders, though. Definitely a good win.
It was. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's a good win. Let me take that back. Because it wasn't a good win because it shouldn't have come to that. But it was a good way to end the game.
Patriots are no slouch, though, Cliff. You have to remember,
I'll give you that. And they have one of the top defenses in the league. But still,
now, if y'all was playing the Texans, I would say something. But, I mean, that
team we lost to is who you're saying.
The Texans?
Yeah, the team that we lost to.
I didn't even realize. Okay. But, or I forgot. But, no, I meant, it's just like, I mean, the AFC East is tough. So, I think, even though it's the Patriots and they're at the bottom, they're still at the bottom. I think they're at the bottom of the AFC East, I believe.
Yep.
7-7.
Wait, it's them, the Dolphins. No, they're tied with the Jets. They're both 7-7.
Let me see. Yep, both 7-7. Yeah, tied. Again, I mean, there ain't no, and they're only one game behind the Dolphins.
The Dolphins are 11-3, right?
Dolphins are 8-6.
Oh, the Bills are 11-3. The Bills are 11-3.
So you got the Patriots and the Jets on the heels of the Dolphins.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess it's kind of too soon to jump in and say that the Jets are out. But let's be honest, in the division that you're in, you're out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Belichick is the deciding factor there.
Right.
It's getting closer to the end of the season. We're on the ropes. It's only one team we have to beat. Let's start doing Belichick shit.
And like you said, playoff ball is different or closer to the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. And I bet Belichick's been in playoff mode. And there wasn't no reason. Again, I don't feel like there was a reason the Raiders should have got that. That's a crazy win. You intercept the lateral and run it back for a touchdown.
It was insane. When I saw the highlights, I was not expecting.
They even said it. There's no. I don't think that a game's ever been ended like this.
Yeah,
in the history of the league.
I think it was a first that, like you said, that they said that. Yeah, so I mean, like I said, good win for y'all. I mean, you may not have liked how the game turned out as far as
Good end of the game. Good way to end the game. I won't say a good win though.
Oh hey.
I mean, they still got the win. A win is a win. I get it.
Oh well, right. It may not have been pretty, but shit, at least it. A one for the win.
They got some making up to do. Is all I'm saying. But move on. We'll I can't even talk. Well, I don't even know what I was about to say now. Was touch. I don't know. We'll touch on this Ravens-Browns game real quick. Deshaun finally got his dub. 13-3 against the Ravens. Deshaun Watson threw for 64.3% completion. 161 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 91.5 QBR. I didn't write down his rushing stats, though. I know they weren't insane, but he did get a couple of good runs. I can't remember what his rushing stats were, though. Gonna keep that a buck. Tyler Huntley just did not have a good game. 56.7% completion, 138 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, 54.6 QBR.
Is that the man, Cliff? If we go back,
who, Tyler Huntley?
You said,
definitely, definitely. And I still agree. I'm still with that. I just think it's a bad situation for the Ravens. It was bad when Lamar was in there.
True.
You feel what I'm saying? So when you putting a second stringer in there in an already bad situation, I can't expect him just to produce like he did last year.
But a la Taylor Heineke, he produced last year when he got to play. When Wentz went down this year as a backup
for Washington,
right?
I can't think off the top of my head whose offensive line would be better in that situation. I guarantee you Washington has a better offensive line.
I doubt it because their record ain't holding up too strong.
But the only reason the Ravens are or is because you have the most dynamic quarterback to grace the field, so called,
Right.
in Lamar Jackson. So it doesn't matter how good your offensive line is. I'm going to get out. I'm going to skirt. I'm going to dump something off. I'm going to do what I got to do to get the dub. You can't say the same for Taylor Heineke.
Right.
You need that line to hold up for him to be able to produce in Washington. So I don't know. That's why I was saying I can't think off the top of my head who is on each line. I know the Ravens have been suffering from injuries with theirs. I don't know much about Washington's, to be honest. So, I don't want to overspeak, but I think I could say almost factually Washington has to have the better offensive line at the moment.
Yeah, they may. They very well. Yeah, I don't know what the stats
And I
on that
could
would.
be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I could very much be wrong, but that's just my initial thought in the situation.
Good
Heineke ain't getting
hypothesis.
out like that.
Right.
Heineke don't gotta leave them you know what I'm saying? He don't gotta leave the ends.
True.
He's not running. Put it like this: if he has to throw the ball away, he's going to back up out of the pocket before he rolls out far enough to be able to throw the ball out of bounds without a pass interference or intentional grounding.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah,
right.
He's not.
You feel what I'm saying? And then you think of a Lamar Jackson who doesn't have to have as much to produce. Yeah, we don't give a fuck about his offensive line. What makes you think we give a fuck about his offensive line if we've never given a fuck about his receiving core?
That is true.
He's going to get it done. That's what the Ravens have been betting on.
That's true.
That's why he's asking for his money.
Oh.
But I will say J.K. Dobbins with the 13 attempts for 125 yards, 9.6 average, no touchdowns, 1 reception, but he had a hell of a game. Was breaking big yardage left and right.
I feel like somebody was hating on him on the show last week. I want to say it was Darren.
Probably.
Somebody was.
I'll say probably, but I don't even remember. I didn't remember the conversation. But Denzel Ward was the one with the pick from Tyler Huntley. So them OSU boys was going off like they do type shit.
Man, what happened to Eli Apple?
I mean, he's still in Cincinnati though, ain't he?
I don't know where he's at. I was just, talking shit.
Man, motherfuckers be trying to play cuz like that. Like you made it to the Super Bowl. You couldn't have done that by giving up big yardage all throughout the season. And he just got a couple plays done on him. And the plays that was done on him, it wasn't even like broken coverage. Like it was like scramble his receiver. It was Cooper Kupp who caught both, right, on him?
Probably.
So you can't hate on that when you talking about the number 1 wide receiver last year that everybody was saying. They were putting him over Devontae.
I knew that drop off would happen. I know he got injured, but I still knew.
I mean, but he wasn't really dropping off before injury.
Yeah, that I cannot attest to. I didn't follow him close enough to see.
Nah, he wasn't dropping off before injury. And I got him on my fantasy team.
Oh, okay.
But what I will say, like I always say, is usage rate matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is why I say you will see. You can mark my words right now. Write them down. If you can bet on it, bet on it. Odell Beckham will be back in the league. Because when you look at the usage rates of Devontae Adams, of Justin Jefferson, of Jamar Chase, of Cooper Kupp, of all your best wide receivers, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, the list goes on. The only one that's kind of even is Tyreek Hill because now Jalen Waddle covers all the short yardage. Tyreek Hill is good for the boom play.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, when you look at the usage rate of all these wide receivers currently, you cannot say that they're going to last 2 full seasons. Not going to happen. They're going to be calling old wide receivers like they did last year to pull Deshaun Jackson out of retirement. And you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the only reason why, not only reason, but one of the big reasons I'll say that Kupp got hurt was because, like you said, the usage.
Usage rate.
But to your point, like you said, I mean, he needs somebody to compliment him.
The same reason Christian McCaffrey gets hurt every season. Usage rate.
Right.
You're using them too much.
Debo.
Debo Samuel. That's another one. Usage rate. When you don't have enough to spread out your targets, you can only guarantee that you're gonna have issues at that position. Which is again why I say you will see Odell Beckham, Mr. Lockett, back in the league. It's gonna happen.
I think he will, but
teams are giving him time. They're saying you never took time. You've always rushed yourself back. You've never took time, so we're gonna take it out of your hands and make you take time. So we're not gonna pick you up this year. You come back next year and you look good. We got you.
No, the only problem about Odell, like I was telling you, though, because he's my age. And I know that, Odell and I are younger than a Clifford, not to throw Clifford under the bus.
Listen, I'm still active. I'm one of them motherfuckers you going to call. Listen, if God gave me a couple more inches.
Right, I feel like that, too.
I wouldn't have half these injuries because I'd have been playing. Maybe would have had more. But it wouldn't have stopped me. I would have still been out there balling. I would have been one of them motherfuckers. Who's the safety that the Rams pulled out last year that got the yeah. That's me. We need you to come back one more time.
T.Y. Hilton,
I'm there. I don't care if I'm 38. I'm there. You need me? I'm coming.
Right.
And you already know me. You can have whatever bone you so choose to have. I'm getting this ring, and I'm breaking something in the process.
And you'll get paid handsomely, I'm sure,
Listen, I'm coming back, and I'm...
But the only point that I was making, Cliff, and again, we talk about this all the time, you and I, whether it be on the show, off the show, is the point that I was getting at is Odell's just turned 30 in November.
Right.
So next year, around this time, he'll be 31. It is, but it's not.
But at the same time, remember what I always say to you is Odell Beckham's career has been elongated by injury.
Like
he's been out so much. That's a good comparison because you remember Derrick Rose was out so much that when he came back, everybody was waiting on it to happen. Never happened. And now he's starting and looking, I won't say looking better than he did when he was younger because he was on that high flying shit, but he's looking more skilled than he ever was before.
Playing wiser, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That you can't deny.
So I guess my thing is, here's what scares me, Cliff. Okay, let me kind of going back to Odell, reverse it back to you. Mm-hmm. It's not old, but we know in the sports world that's considered older, 30, 31 or so, right?
No. Agreed.
And also, Cliff, all the injuries, Odell, you suffered them mostly early on. Like, it started at a young age is what I'm saying.
Right.
So I'm just thinking with natural progression of your age and your body, wouldn't it most likely at this rate only get worse and worse?
That's interesting, right? That's a very, very fucking...
Cliff, I'll say this, Cliff. I'll say this. So for the podcast people, for those who may or may not know, I've been knowing Cliff for almost 10 years now. Now, some of the injuries Cliff has gotten recently, I didn't see, right? Like 5, 6, you know what I mean? But as you're getting older though, like your body's getting more brittle, right? All of us, like it's not as.
But my shit, I feel I feel like my shit is more freak accident-ish.
It is
like
That was his, Cliff.
You're right. Good point.
He ain't Cliff. He ain't getting turf toe. He's getting freak. Oh shit! Freak accident, ACL.
Play made.
But like we said, he's considered older in the sports world, one of the older people now. And again, you've been getting hurt since you were younger. Now you're just getting older. Father time is not on your side. We talk about LeBron and them all the time. It's not on your side. So your things are happening, and they're going to happen more often as you play these intense sports. And you're getting older. So my question is, Odell, not that you come back, is when you come back, how long?
Right.
Okay, Cliff. Fuck the Derrick Rose comparison. Are we looking at the football Anthony Davis? When you play, you're gonna play.
Oh no! Well, you can.
decent
you
to
can
well.
say that. That might work because he
How long?
just
How
got his
long?
ring.
How long we have you for? How long we have you for is a question. Look, you look great on the menu. We talked about this last night, me and you, or the other night. You look great on the menu, but when I order
But
it,
no. No, I'm glad you said that because no. There's no way you could compare him to Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis was brought to LA to be a producer. Now, I'm not saying that Odell would not be brought to any team to produce, but at the same time, we know that he's not expected to be a starting producer. We bring Odell in off formations. We bring Odell in off of this because any team that he joins, whether it be the fucking Bills, the Rams, the wherever, choose it. He's not going to be the 2 anywhere.
you don't think if Jerry Jones, who still wants to sign him, they're saying if he went to Dallas, Jerry's gonna bring him as a back. Are you serious?
No, he's not gonna be a backup. He's just not gonna be a 2. He's gonna be an Isaiah McKenzie.
But someone like Jerry, I can't speak for everyone, but someone like Jerry Jones wants him as a 2. You got CeeDee Lamb as your 1. He wants an Odell as a 2.
And listen, that
scenario
that may make sense in the standpoint of taking some attention off of CeeDee Lamb. But at the same time, it's like, Odell doesn't get hurt from getting hit. He gets hurt from cuts and shit like that. So he could get hurt just being your what's the word? Your deception guy. Your
decoy.
Right, your decoy.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
It doesn't make sense to have him as a 2. He's a formation guy.
Okay. This is why I'll tell you. This is why I'm a challenge what you say. So I don't know if you heard it, but Odell allegedly wants at least $20 million. Hey, Cliff, you ain't paying somebody $20 million to be your 3, 4, or 5.
Well, it depends, right? It depends. Because if you're available at the beginning of my season, because I only really need you for the front end and the back end. Don't need you through the long haul. I'll make it a point to use you less through the heart of the season. But if I can get you to get me a bit of a lead, a cushion away from other teams, and then sit you a bit, then bring you back in you'll get plays in between. You just won't get as much usage. You may be beneficial to me. I know it's a lot of people on teams that may be around the 18, 17 mark that you're like, he doing less.
But if anything, Cliff, I would do the reverse because I think it'd be more beneficial.
Put him in the middle and not the end or the back.
Well, no, I would
put him in the middle and then postseason.
Let him run through. Let him run through because
middle to the end, we won't last. Now you're talking about street clothes.
Right. Well, here's the thing, Cliff. Here's my thought process. If you put him in the middle into the finish line, so to speak, you keep him warm, you keep him like a Little Caesars pizza. You keep him hot and ready, right? Keep him hot and ready. Because Cliff, if you start him at the beginning, give him a little, like you said, give him a couple plays to give him a break. You're kind of saying though to an extent, and then bring him back. You're getting him out of rhythm. You're getting him.
Well, no, I don't need you to have a break. I just need you hungry. It's like a what is it? Like a dog with on a sled that you hold a piece of chicken out in front of.
What happens when
motherfucker hungry, right? And then I'm gonna extend it a bit, so you're like, it's not as close now. I'm not as, and then I'm gonna bring it closer, get you hungry again. And you get them hungry before they enter. But listen, when I tell you in a 17-game season, I only want you there available to me for the last 5. And if we're talking postseason as well, where I'm expecting you to be available, 3.
Well, here's the bigger issue now that I think about it. Cliff, he has to practice. Meaning, you don't I don't know why, for a moment, I was just stuck on games, what we're talking about. Just the games, right? But you can motherfuckers get hurt in practice all the time. And with Odell being injury prone, how do we know, Cliff, at any point in time, he's not somebody that's going to get hurt in practice? Not even worried about
the case, but you can't You can't press it like that. And like I said, if it's based off of usage rate, he's not going to get picked up at the beginning of the season. I don't see any smart team picking Odell Beckham up for the beginning of the season.
They think that he'll be ready by the beginning of the season.
I guarantee you he'll be ready. I don't want to say guarantee, that sounds strong, but I'm sure he'll be ready. But to expect him to start out your team in training camp and preseason and then the start of the season, and we're running 17 games now, 18 weeks, how long do you think he's really going to be available to you?
See, and that's right. That's why I said go ahead.
It'd be smarter to pick him up at around week 10, week 9 is all I'm saying, before, and it's not even a draft situation. He's a free agent. So if you wanted to, you could bring him back in week 13.
See, that's the problem with him. I'm thinking is he's so high risk. At this point, don't even matter when you bring him in. Because like I said, this motherfucker can get hurt just practice. You know what I'm saying? Like when you really, and I'm not trying to diss Odell because I'm rooting for Odell. I want to see Odell. Yeah, I fuck with Odell. He seems like a good dude. I mean, from what it seems. So whatever. Want to see him redeem himself. But it just seems like, once again, like Anthony Davis, similar to it. We know we can get you. Like, we know that you're willing to play, and as long as you're healthy, you'll play and practice, all that. But how long is it going to be before in practice or a game when you're just right back out?
You just have to allow, and especially in Anthony Davis' situation, you have to allow someone else to manage him aside from LeBron. That's when Darvin Ham has to step up and be like, nah, my nigga is sitting. I don't give a fuck what you think you're ready for, what you're sitting. You're sitting. I don't care. I don't care nothing. I don't care about your flow. I don't care nothing about that. If we're going to make something happen this year, we have to allow them to take off and you to come in, because what Anthony Davis has also proven is that he can come in pretty hot.
He can.
So you don't need much time to catch fire. I'm not about to allow you to play when you can just come down from a rebound with a foot injury.
But what's the point of having a Ferrari if you can't drive it as often?
That's fine, as long as when I can drive it, it makes the most sense. That's it. I don't need it every day. And you shouldn't be driving your Ferrari as an everyday car. Fuck are you, Andrew Tate? Just driving Bugattis and shit. That shouldn't be a car.
Rick Ross and them.
You feel what I'm saying? That shouldn't be what you're doing in general. So
wear and tear.
Right. If that's what you choose to do, then you're in a situation that's even off of this topic, because you're in a situation better than any NFL owner, because they can't just replace their Ferrari like that. They have to wait around for another 2 to 3 years before they get another one.
I mean, these days though, there's a lot of talent out there. I mean, because not even just to your point,
right.
Trades, free agency. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, you know what I mean? Like,
that's why I say it with my chest. Odell will be back in the league.
Wish you the best, Odell.
He gonna be back in the league. It ain't even about wishing him the best. First of all and foremost, my nigga just had his child. He's already been blessed abundantly financially. Right. I don't care if your career didn't pan out to be the way it panned out, like it should have been. You're still blessed. You just got your ring.
Right.
And not only did you get a ring, you got acknowledgement in the game.
Right. Because
you could have been considered the MVP before injury.
Balling. He was doing his damn thing.
So he can now say, because it's clear that Odell's the ego guy, y'all wouldn't have got that without me. And that's facts.
You know what's funny?
Got it without him.
You know what's funny that you said, and we can move on after this, but the last thing I'll kind of say about Odell is, I don't remember who was saying it. I was watching, again, one of the sports shows or whatever. They said that Odell on screen as a player seems, like you said, like an ego guy. But I guess, like, as an actual person, I guess he's
I'm
real.
Sure in the locker room, I'm sure he's real involved. Like, my guy, you know what I'm saying? That's the same way. Think about it. It's the same way Cam Newton is. Everybody was trying to play Cam Newton like he has issues, he has ego problems.
I like
But
Cam
even
Newton.
when Mac Jones came in, that's mac and cheese, baby. That's my guy. I want him to be the best.
He was right. You're right. I don't think there was no animosity. I bet the competition, of course.
Right, of course. I gotta compete. But that's my guy. I expect you to take over what I've done.
Right.
I expect that. So why would I be upset with you for doing so? The whole thing about it is certain players, and I don't mean to take it there, have a stigma about them. I.e. darker skinned quarterbacks.
True. That's just the truth. That's not even like
players in general, not even quarterbacks, but players in general have a stigma about them. So if you come off as too confident, you're Antonio Brown. If you come off with not enough confidence, you're fucking I had a name and it fled my mind just as fast as I thought of it.
Not enough. What sport were you gonna say? Let's start
football
there.
Still.
Not enough.
A player that was good that just wasn't cocky enough for them to notice. Like he's just
Marvin Harrison was like that. He didn't talk. My boy just scored touchdowns.
That's different though. He did enough to be recognized.
But I mean, like he didn't need.
I understand the comparison. Yeah,
wide receivers are divas. I'm just saying.
You were stuck. I wasn't even so much thinking about a wide receiver. It was actually the dude that. It almost came back, and then I lost it.
we might need that. Would you say, Cliff? We need to start taking.
Ginkgo biloba. Yeah, you know what? That might have to be added to the supplement.
PNC, here we come.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you, boy, that shit came and went faster than a female orgasm. I don't know what I was about to say. Damn, I can't remember the name.
It'll come back to you, I bet.
I'm sure it will.
When you do, pop it out there.
But now I forget the point.
We were talking about...
that shit can hurt you. Yeah, confidence, all that perception, all that can hurt you. If you're perceived as a bad dude, like doesn't get along, you don't get picked up. If you perceived as a person who is ungrateful, Elijah Moore, it hurts your career. Now everybody's talking about he's talking his way to the bench. Well, why? Really? Why is he talking his way to the bench? If he feels like he's the best out there, regardless of Garrett Wilson, why am I not getting enough touches? I see how Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are working, but why is Garrett Wilson getting all the passes? Hit me every now and then and I'm fine.
Right, let me get some touches.
But now motherfuckers are saying you shouldn't even speak up because that sounds like some powers that be shit to me. Like, you can't even say I'm better than this, or now it looks like you're stepping out of line. Well, what line should I be in exactly?
They try to hit him with that shut up and play ball type mentality, Cliff.
I mean, but we've been through that. It's not basketball, it's football. And I always say basketball is a player-run organization. Football is an owner-run organization, and that's not going to change.
You know what's crazy?
Well, no time soon, I'll say.
I don't know why we don't talk about this man because he's been in a lot of trouble lately, Brett Favre. But I think he came out, Cliff, like a couple years ago, and people were mad at him. I think he's one of the ones that said, "Oh, I hate how these like new guys speak up for themselves," type shit or something like that.
He might be right.
Play football, like kind of slave. You know what I mean? No, I know you like. I did too, but I be forgetting where he's from. He's from the South, Mississippi. Right. We know the latest financial scandal.
I just like him for football. I would like to point that out. I don't like him for stealing from poor folks, black folks. I don't like him for his views and opinions. They are not what we share in this organization, by no means. But football player, he's my favorite quarterback, and it's not going to change regardless of what he does. I still got to give him his props for what I saw on the field.
He was a tough son of a gun, but yeah, I mean, you've
been watching wrestling too much.
Look, tough son of a gun.
You're a tough son of a gun there.
Listen,
that sounds like a wrestler. I'm a fucking tough son of a gun.
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna hit him with that on the game next time. But No, man, I don't remember where we were going with it. Oh, we're talking about egos, wrapping up the egos and stuff and all that.
And we good
Uh,
on time, so speak your mind.
no, man. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to transition into Cliff. Let's talk about the Rams Packers game.
The Rams Packers game. Okay.
Did you get a chance to see
I
any of
actually
it?
watched some of it
I did
on the
too.
screen. I was cooking while I was watching it,
Right.
but I was watching some of the game. Yes, I will. I didn't like recap like I do normally with these games. I can look up stats and highlights, but I did watch a good portion of the game.
Okay. No, that why aren't they not? Okay, here it is. I'm looking here. I watched a little bit of it, and I mean, people just really hate Baker, huh? I mean, they just really, and it's so interesting because like they forget what he's like 2 weeks into the team. Cliff, is it maybe three? Is it 2 or 3?
2 weeks. This is his. Well, really,
Like second
no,
week, right?
really. This. Let's keep it a buck. Really, this was his first week.
Right. So
Because he came off of the best adult dating site for all of my shower heads is x-girls.xyz, baby. Best adult dating site. And y'all got free promo right there. They got hearts and wet emojis. So get over there right now if you trying to date. If you're looking for a good woman, go to X.
Hey, Cliff, you probably should put an age limit on there so nobody thinks it's just a free.
Let me keep it a bug. If you're 18, well, I'm sure the site will tell you that. I'm just, sending you to the fountain. You may not want to drink, though.
But I don't have the QBR. I want to throw that out there.
Let's pull that up. Let's pull it up.
I just have the general stats, but I just, like you said, so no, that's what you were saying. You were saying, let's keep it a buck. You were saying it's his first official
this
week.
Is his first week. Like, you can't deny that. This is his first week there. Because last week, he only had a day between getting there and playing the game.
Right.
So you can't count that, even though it's a win, which is good, like I was saying last week, but you can't count that as his first week there. He didn't even get a chance to meet everyone. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Man. So, like you said, I'm sure you're pulling it up. So I'm looking here. Baker was 12 for 21. So that's a little under. Well, wait. No, that's a little over 50% because half of 20 is 10. Okay. So we'll say a little bit over 50%. 111 yards.
If he did hit 100 off of 12.
Yeah, right. And so 111 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. You got Rodgers, who was 22 for 30, right?
I don't know
not
what
too bad.
I said, but go ahead.
You got Rodgers, 22 for 30, not too bad. 229 yards passing, 1 throwing touchdown, 1 interception. My whole point is, y'all acting like Baker had a shitty game. It was his first official week, really. Like you said, he hasn't even met everybody. Doesn't know all the plays yet, signals yet, just going off of a small sample, I'm sure.
That's still a bad game, though. I'm not going to lie, just for the
It's not the greatest game, but check this out, though.
It's not the worst either. You can't.
It's not. He threw 1 touchdown, Rodgers threw 1 touchdown. He threw 1 interception, Rodgers threw 1 interception. Now, the yards and efficiency rate is different.
As it will be.
But as it should be, because Rodgers been in that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what?
I follow 1,000%.
That's what I'm saying. It's his first official real week. He had a way better game the first outing. We know that. Like, but basically what I'm saying is what happened. Right. Like, what happened against Aaron Rodgers? And go ahead with the hot take. What I'm saying is that should have been the case.
Right.
But he won last game. Like, y'all should expect him to, is what I'm saying. He's still new. It's his first official week. But yeah, go ahead with your hot take.
I'm trying to remember it now. I can't even remember what my hot. Oh, I got it. So the hot take was, I was about to repeat. I got a hot take.
PNC, here we come, baby.
I think that Baker performed better in his first week just for the simple fact that he didn't know the playbook. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, he's an innovator, and I don't mean that in a good way. Like he'll make something out of nothing all the time. I'm just saying he's not a straight to the play guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not a I'm gonna fake play action, drop back 2 steps, fire on a slant if I see the man. That's not the way he is.
Yeah,
he's gonna dance around a bit, and he's going to wait to see who's open, and then he's going to throw the ball. And I think that he played better the first day because he was expected to run the team himself. Like how I say Carr should do because he doesn't have a coach. Just go out there and do what you see. If you see it open, take the shot. If you see an audible, take the audible. You don't know the playbook. So, you know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
but now he has to fit that line, and he's still learning the line. So it's like, of course, it's not going to look like a good game. He's more structured now.
One thing that they pointed out too, Cliff, is that the Rams' offensive line I was hearing is banged up. Bad. It's bad. You had the one guy retire after the Super Bowl.
Right.
And then all their starters. Andre Whitworth.
Right.
And then all their starters, besides one, this season has been injured. They said, Cliff, on like the second or third play of that Packers game, the only remaining true starter they had, which is the center, got hurt. So now you got all second, third strings and whatever. Cliff, there was times they pointed out in that game that second or third string center was like not even hiking the ball right. Like he's, Baker's trying to, like it's not. So my whole point is new team, new system, still fresh week or whatever in there. Your offensive line is shitty. You have no Cooper Kupp. Like look at what you're working with. Even though you do have the potential because you got Sean McVay as a coach, who I like, and you got Cooper Kupp who will be back eventually and all that good stuff if you stay. But I'm just saying at the moment, look at what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? It's a miracle that he even did what he did last week.
Right.
So are we surprised is what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm not always quick to write him off because I'm like, at least right now, because I'm like I said, it's a great coach.
You got to give him time.
You got to give him time. He doesn't even have an offensive line.
You got to give him time. That's period.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that, with that game and Baker.
But,
of course, they lost. I don't think we gave the score.
Yeah, what was the score? I had it. Did I have it?
Rams versus Packers. That score, Rams versus Packers, was 12-24 Green Bay.
I don't have it.
12-24 Green Bay. Which Green Bay somehow, I doubt they'll make it, but they say still have a chance of making the playoffs, which is interesting.
Who, Green Bay?
It's a slim chance, but they technically have a chance. They were talking about it on Monday Night Football. Eli and Peyton.
And I bet it don't involve them just winning. I bet they calculating motherfuckers having to lose and all that. Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that, but Oh, I don't even know what I was about to look up. The Dolphins-Bills game. I do want to touch on that. Dolphins take the loss 29-32. First thing I want to say about that is I believe that the Dolphins played excellent granted the conditions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, that's always the fault that they put on the Dolphins. Like, well, are they going to be able to compete in the snow and the bad weather? And listen, that game looked good to me. I'm going to tell you that. It looked like they were a team that played there normally as well.
Right.
I'll just start it off with that. But Josh Allen, very impressive game. 62.5% completion, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 119.2
Mm,
QBR.
mm. He did his thing.
He did. Did you watch it at all? Did you see the highlights or anything?
I did. I seen a couple highlights with like Waddle scoring and stuff like that, but I didn't. I missed it. Didn't get a chance to catch it.
The
Did have
nigga is so reckless.
Josh Allen?
Man, so reckless. He went for, was it a touchdown? It was a 2-point conversion. He went for a 2-point conversion and decided to dive over the pylon. And he dove from far too. I'm not even gonna stunt.
Oh,
Dove from far, got smacked, ball came flying out, and he flipping like coming down and shit. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you're coming off of a what was it, a shoulder or elbow injury?
I thought it was a rib or not rib. Yeah, it was something like that. What you're saying? Yeah, it was
It was
something like
something
that.
with his arm.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't
I think
remember
it was
what
elbow.
though.
Might have been elbows. Yeah, something.
And you got to see the way he
He don't
dove
care.
into the end zone. Like, it was like he had no regard. He plays like how I would play.
Maybe he doesn't feel pain like you say, like you be saying.
But it doesn't have nothing to do with pain, because even if I'm not in as much pain, if I can't play, I can't play. I can't lift my
Right.
arm. So why would he? How can he be useful if he's just a tough dude? Can't feel pain if you can't do your thing. Like, that was the whole critique. People were questioning his decision making because he had thrown consistent interceptions over his past 3 games.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I get wanting to get your team to win, but that shit was crazy. But I will say, Tua, he had a 56.7 completion, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for a 104.0 QBR. He hit Waddle for a 67-yard touchdown in that game.
yeah, I mean, they what was the score of that game again, Flip?
32-29.
Yeah, that was and I knew that would be a great game and a nice high scoring game. I knew it would be. I'm sad that I missed it.
Tyler
But
Bass won that with 0 seconds on the clock with a field goal to win the game.
obviously that's the Bills' kicker, Tyler Bass. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Bass. Yeah, that man, listen, Dolphins, their
I
defense is
believe that's
banged up.
Tyler. I think that's his name.
Their defense is banged up still, I believe. Like their secondary, I think. But
Well, if you're referring to Micah Hyde, he's out for the season.
well, Xavier Howard, he's banged up, I think, still too. I think remember
Xavier Howard's on Miami.
that's what I was talking about, Miami secondary. That's what I said, Miami secondary.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Buffalo.
No. Yeah, Miami secondary. Miami secondary. But they got potential. I think like you said, when it comes to playoff experience though, I mean they got Tyreek Hill, but I do think that, as good as they are, I think with that lack of experience or veteran, playoff experience, leadership and all that, I think that they probably will fold. Not no first round or nothing, but I think that you would see them fold, not even really to just play, just experience, just getting out coached. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
But it also depends on who they're matched up against. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
the AFC matchups is way different than these NFC matchups. So it's a little tougher. You
Did
know
you
what I
just
mean?
get cold?
Yeah, I just let the dog outside. I had to put the blanket on real quick.
I was wondering.
I had to
I
put the
thought
blanket
you had
on.
just went and got a blanket just off a rip. Like, just, man.
No, I already had it, But man, got a little
You
chilly.
had to get up and get a blanket.
No, I took him outside. That's why I was still talking. Yeah, I was. Yeah. But no, yeah. I mean, Dolphins definitely got a shot, man. They definitely got a shot. They're a nice, high scoring offense for sure.
Nah, they good. They 8-6 right now. But I mean, Like we said, in that division, that's tough right now, man.
Can't really, yeah, you can't really afford too much in that division.
Yeah, you get another loss, and now if you get another loss, Patriots win, Jets win, y'all got a three-way tie for second.
Right. Can't afford that. I got to step it up. Man, sit down.
That's
Yeah.
wild. But
It's gonna come down to the last game type shit though, probably with the I mean 'cause with that division, I mean everybody's neck and neck after the Bills, so
that's very interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very. I've given up on my Raiders, and I know everybody say, but it's still a chance. It's still, but regardless, I've given up on them. And even if a miracle happened, and I don't know if Derek Carr got hit with a magical snowflake that fell through his face mask, and ever since he just had the gift. That's what they should do. They should make a Christmas movie with Derek Carr and the magical snowflake.
Home Alone 4.
What?
Home Alone 4 with Derek Carr and Devontae
Nah,
Adams.
Derek Carr wouldn't be no star in Home Alone 4. He don't know how to set no traps. You hear what I'm saying? He's out of there. That motherfucker's snatching him up early. Early.
He ain't no Kevin.
But you got damn right. McAllister? Now let you see a McAllister walk out on the back of his jersey. I don't care what team he play for. That nigga setting traps.
Right.
Yeah, mark our words. Hit the showers. Wait for the next McAllister quarterback. I'm telling you right now.
Oh my goodness.
What was we talking about?
We were
the Bills.
Oh, we were talking about the Dolphins offense, just having. We're talking about the AFC East. How it's gonna come down to like the last three teams.
Yeah, that's
like,
gonna be interesting.
To the nitty gritty.
But let's skip. Let's go to your Eagles because they still flying high. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. So I mean, what was the final score in that game, Cliff?
25-20.
25-20. So I didn't get a chance to watch that game because I was on the road.
For real?
Yeah, I seen the highlights. And of course heard about the big thing on Jalen Hurts. So the game is a good win. Am I happy about how close it was? No. But after hearing about what happened with Jalen Hurts, and those who may or may not know, Jalen Hurts did suffer a shoulder sprain during that game. But he did not leave the game because he's a motherfucking dog. Stayed in the game, did a rushing touchdown, had a high completion percentage still after that or whatever.
Oh, you mean afterwards? Because he ended with
after. Now I know with the overall, yeah, but afterwards he
ended with 3 rushing touchdowns.
But
even though 2 of them was them ones, like I said, they just be setting them up for it, the 2-yard line type shit.
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong, they touchdowns as well, but I used to hate that because
they're gimmies.
When I was in high school, I was and first of all, I was like 3rd string because of how much fucking talent we had. But I would be the guy to get the ball all the way down the field. They pulled me out.
Oh, right. And let the starters finish it up.
Yeah. Or yeah, man.
That's weak.
So that might be why I kind of hate on him when he gets the little 2-yarders because I'm like, but
right, yeah. I mean, it's a good win. Of course, like I was telling you off air, I'm a little worried about. I mean, Jalen Hurts said today in an interview that he feels fine. He said, "We'll see. It's day by day." Of course, the critics say they want him to sit out, right? Because he's in the race for the MVP. They did say Mahomes officially took the lead back after several weeks of Hurts leading it.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but he threw for 315 yards, though. How much? I don't know. I don't think that it says, but do you know how many of them yards were after the injury?
Right. I bet it don't tell you.
That would be interesting to know.
Right. So the big question mark on him is like, okay, if he somehow still can play, let's say against the Cowboys Christmas Eve, which is a big game for us, right? And as Philadelphia Eagles because they're rivals,
Right.
like you let him play and try to win so he could try to solidify himself back as that MVP and risk him getting hurt, which makes no sense because we need him in the playoffs,
Man, put Magic Minshew in there.
or do you make him sit? Because always, so it turns out all we need to do is win at least one out of our next 3 games to get home field advantage in the NFC. Just one out of the next 3, and that's going to be the Cowboys on Christmas Eve, then the Saints, I believe they said, and then the Giants. And we already tore the Giants up. And the same
And you
thing,
only need one.
one out of 3, help us clinch
I
home.
would definitely. I would listen. And this might sound crazy. Definitely benching Hurts for the Cowboys. They haven't been producing very well in clutch situations anyway. And I think the Eagles' defense will keep them in a clutch situation the whole game through, regardless. So I think you're good
Dak
there.
Prescott sucks. I mean, you seen what LaShawn did you?
We about to get there. We about to get there. We about to get to our picks and wrap up.
All right.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. Bench Jalen for this game. Start Minshew. Depending on how Minshew plays this game, keep Jalen benched for the Saints game as well. Because they're in turmoil in their own right. You feel what I'm saying?
But the problem is, Cliff, I also keep forgetting that looking here again, the Vikings record wise are right on our heels. So I don't know how true, like I'm looking here. The Vikings are 11-3, we're 13-1. So I'm trying to do the math. So if let's say we lost the next 3 games, that put us at what, 13-3? I'm sorry, yeah, 13-4.
Right,
13-4.
13-4.
And let's say they win the next 3 games, and they would be 14-3. So I don't know. So when I
But
heard
I
that,
don't really, doesn't really matter though. I don't really see a way y'all are. I don't see a way that y'all lose the next 3 games, even if you start Minshew in all of them.
I would hope not, but I agree with you though. Yeah, I don't see us losing
I
the next.
really don't see a way y'all lose all 3, even if Jalen didn't play in them.
Right, right.
So that doesn't really matter. And even if y'all don't get home field advantage, that doesn't really matter either because y'all been scraping motherfuckers on the road.
We definitely have.
Like, I don't think that the Eagles are a team that have been established long enough to appreciate home field advantage. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like, usually a team that gets home field advantage, like you remember when the Seahawks had their reign and they were saying that's the 12th
Right,
man on the field,
right,
the
right.
fucking but that was because the team was so good that the crowd was hot. This team is shocking people they don't know yet.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
feel what
That's
I'm saying?
true. Yeah, that's true.
Now I guarantee you, if y'all do something and come out the NFC this year, next year y'all's sees they gonna have a name for y'all's arena, like a
Man,
nickname for Philly's arena next year if y'all come out. And that's facts. You always
they
do
all
that, but I can't read it because it's going.
oh, but it's just stuff really for me to remember the like
Okay.
highlight.
Yeah,
But
have
anyway,
you?
so not to jump the gun, but
No, we can do whatever.
well, we can. It'll help us transition to it. So yeah, Philly got the win. I'll take the win. We'll see what happens with Hurts. How long he sits
Well,
out.
first I would like to add. I'm sorry. First I would like to add. We already, and I don't mean to cut you off. But Jalen Hurts also rushed for 17 attempts, 61 yards, 3.6 average, 3 touchdowns, 22 long.
Mhm.
Justin Fields, I want to say this. He threw for, and I'm not trying to compare stats in any way here, but he threw for 66.7%, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 119.5 QBR. Ran for 15 attempts, 95 yards, 6.3 average, 0 touchdowns, 39 long. And they called back a touchdown that was beautiful, but he did step out of bounds. Did you see that?
I think I did on the little
Man, he definitely stepped out of bounds, but that was a beautiful touchdown. But the only reason why I want to bring that up is because the Eagles' defensive line was sacking him left and fucking right. And even when they weren't sacking him, they were rushing him to a point that he had no choice but to throw passes under duress.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he got that 66.7, I was impressed. Because a lot of the passes were on the run. He was running for his life. He was getting like, you know how to like they come around and try to get you. They was grabbing his helmet and he was still on the move. Like, where can I get it off?
Oh, you're talking about that when the Bears played us and he had that one big play? Was that what you were talking about a moment ago?
Yeah, the run.
Yeah.
And that came from a sack. They almost had him sacked.
Right, that play was insane. They
almost had him sacked.
And
the only reason why I bring that up is because I feel like, yes, you have to give him the most electrifying quarterback, even with Lamar Jackson at the moment.
Yeah, that play was...
It's ridiculous what he has to go through to get shit off.
Right, yeah. Philly's defense, yeah, they're tough. So we was getting after him, I'm sure. Yeah.
What? You were getting after him? It was ridiculous. I guarantee you, every defensive lineman recorded a sack that game.
I bet, man. We beefed up on the D line and shit. Yeah, we got some hitters.
I guarantee it. I don't know if I saw Sue. I don't know if I saw Ndamukong Suh.
He's like a play-by-play.
I don't think I saw him get one, but god damn, he was getting sacked left and right.
Damn.
Ridiculous. But it was a good game.
It was.
It was a good game.
Speaking of Fields, though, he's the third quarterback in NFL history with a 1,000-yard rushing season.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Who's that? Cam Newton, Josh Allen, and him.
Josh Allen?
Yep.
1,000 yards?
Yep.
I was thinking Vic. You said...
Oh, Vic. I forgot about Vic.
Talking about 1,000 yards.
Josh got one.
I don't know about
last year.
Let me see. So it's Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Fields, which makes a lot more sense.
Justin Fields. But I thought Josh had 1,000 last year.
It's Josh Allen. He ain't getting no 1,000 yards rushing. 1,000 yards rushing?
Yeah. Look up his stats. Let me look up his stats myself.
Oh, man. Josh Allen rushing stats. I was only giving passing, of course.
I'm about to look it up. Stop playing with your boy.
Why is it only? But yeah, even when we talked about the top three,
it's giving me this year.
That would make sense, though, right? Jackson,
wait. Over career.
Josh, that's what I was hung up on. I was like, Josh Allen.
Oh, it's not giving me. It's not giving me the. Damn, Joe. I can't break it up like that. It's not gonna let me break it up like that.
Yeah, it's being weird.
Let me see something. But I thought he did. He was leading. I thought he led Buffalo in rushing last year.
He might have, but I'm just saying. Think about that though.
And I think Singletary was pretty close to 1,000.
1,000 yards. I mean, Hurts is short as even Hurts, like he's slightly below that right now, but 1,000 is a
But
lot
yeah, I think
for a
I don't know. I
quarterback.
might be tripping, but I'm pretty
And a
sure
white
he was close
quarterback
to
at
that.
that. Oh, look, a white quarterback at that. That is not.
Josh Allen is the truth.
I'm not saying, but Cliff, you got to think he's a power runner. He's not a speedster. All the other guys are speedsters that are in
Right.
that top group. That is a bit. That is a
You
Ben
might be
Roethlisberger.
right. You might be right there. But I
That
could
that's
have
a Ben.
swore.
That's a Ben Roethlisberger that could do more with the legs, but
Nah,
he's
you hating
like too
on
big.
cuz. You hating on cuz.
Big Ben got 3 rings. Ain't nothing to hate
Yes, he
on.
does, but he's a lot more. He has a lot more movement than Ben.
I just said that. I said he's a more mobile version of Ben, but he's built. His stature is like he is
I
the
guess.
Ben
I guess I could. I might
Roethlisberger.
not have heard all the way. I might be able to agree
He's
with
the
that.
Roethlisberger 2.0, just better and improved. He has the shit the Roethlisberger didn't have. You know what I mean?
I might be
But,
able to agree with that.
but yeah. So them three, I was just shouting out Justin Fields being the third one in history with that 1,000 yard rushing season. That's crazy.
Well, let's move on to the news, and we about to get our picks, and we out of here.
All right.
I gotta piss anyway.
Well, go
LaShawn
ahead.
McCoy, number
Oh,
one.
LaShawn. Man, yeah, he got on it was on FS1 and he said,
Yep.
"Can I?" He said this Dak Prescott is ass.
No, he said Dak Prescott is ass, and then he said, "Can I say that on TV?"
Oh,
And they
yeah,
said, "You can say whatever you want." And
right.
he said, "Well, Dak Prescott is ass."
Yeah,
I'm like,
right. Oh my gosh, I was hyped. Oh, I love it. Love to hear
listen,
it.
do you agree?
I don't know about ass. Do I think he's ass? Yes. I wouldn't say he's ass, but he's ass. He's not. He's overrated. He's overpaid. Oh, Jared, the man that paid you told you that when he paid you. I overpaid you. I'm
Right,
gonna give it to you, but I overpaid you, and you
right.
did. You did. Should Jalen Hurts be getting what Dak got paid? Yeah. That's
Nah, that's a
that.
little bit biased though.
No, it's not. Led his team to first of all, playoffs the first year that he started, led him to the playoffs. Second year, leading him to the playoffs, being the number one seed in the NFC in the run for an MVP. When was Dak Prescott ever in the run for an MVP?
Nah, you right
When
about
was Dak
that.
Prescott ever lead his team to the NFC playoffs number one seed?
What would you? Oh no,
Number
not
one
number
seed.
one. Not number one. No, you
Right.
right. You right. You right. You right.
And matter of fact, I think they gave us a stat out on the playoffs. The Cowboys ain't been to the playoffs in a couple years until this year. Let me see.
You
It might
might
have
be
went
right.
live. So you know what I mean?
Well, he's
And
currently on the season throwing 68%, 2,103 yards, 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 93.8 QBR.
they did make it last year. I apologize. They lost in I thought so. They lost in the wild card round. They
Excuse me.
did make it
Shit.
last year.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
overrated.
I don't know.
So
I would say I'll say that. I think he's overrated. I don't know if I'm willing to say he's ass or
he's
ass.
ass.
I'll take him over Carr.
Ah, hell no. I bet you wouldn't.
I would.
Bet you would not. This man, he's had all the weapons. Think about all the weapons he's had. He's had way more weapons than Carr's had.
He got Amari Cooper from us.
And was balling with him
Mm-hmm.
and still
Carr
couldn't
wasn't.
do and
Carr
but look,
wasn't.
but still couldn't do shit.
Carr wasn't though.
Carr, both of them are in the same spot.
I don't know how he got that check with Cleveland if he couldn't get that check with Cowboys. And I'm not
That's what
saying
I'm
he didn't get a check with the Cowboys. He got a nice deal if I remember correctly. But
wasn't it?
but right. No, it was enough. Because Darren's right. Like we say all the time, he catches with his chest. He's not a hands guy. He
Right.
never put him on a kick return. I guarantee you that. Because unless they squib kicked it right at his chest, he wouldn't be able to return that motherfucker.
Yeah, that's true.
Listen, hold up. I got to piss.
Go ahead.
Read off some stats or something. Tell me what you feel. Talk to the people.
Raiders suck ass. I'm gonna let them know.
We'll continue. Give us a reason why, at least.
Oh, I'm gonna give a reason why.
Okay.
They ain't won the championship since 1984. I'm sorry. Raiders are terrible. If you're a Raiders fan, I'm sorry to hear that. They're never gonna be shit, never gonna do shit, can't do shit, and that's from top to bottom, and that's just a fact, Jack. R.I.P. John Madden, though, one of the legends as a Raider. But I don't know why Cliff's a Raiders fan, y'all. I really don't. I don't understand why he's a Raiders fan. He's never even seen them win a championship in his 36 years of life, almost 37. Might I add. But he keeps hoping and praying. It's like the little kid that gets let down every year. Santa never comes and delivers those presents or something. It's really sad to see Cliff go through that. But I did tell him if he ever wants a winning team, I got a couple different winning franchises of teams that I rock with. He's more than welcome to join the bandwagon, so to speak. But y'all know it's always good to be a Philadelphia Eagle, baby. We got to fly high. That's just what we do. When you got a Jalen Hurts on your motherfucking team, we just fly high. That's what I was going to tell your punk ass earlier was fucking. So, again, I didn't want to jump the gun, but Jacksonville upset at the Cowboys. Not sure if you heard or seen that.
Yeah. As I expected.
So as a thank you, we went ahead and
I wish I'd put that on here.
As Eagles, we went ahead and sent Doug Peterson and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I saw a shit ton of Philadelphia cheesesteaks and other amenities as a thank you for beating the punk ass Cowgirls. So
that's
Dougie P, I hope you enjoyed a old fashioned cheesesteak.
Like
you can't get one on the house no more, bud.
That's funny though. This is how God damn, I feel like I walked into a spider web or something.
Don't do that. That's how I got two of them.
What?
I said, don't do that. You caught what you picked up what I was putting down.
Don't let Coach rub off on you now. But the only reason this kind of nigga I am, right? This how fair I am. And for the podcast listeners, I got the belt hanging up now. I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? I want everybody to see this motherfucker right now. But the kind of motherfucker I am is I knew that the Jags was going to beat the Cowboys, and that's why I did not put it on the list.
That's not why.
It is, because you know how I've been talking about how high I am on the Jaguars.
Right. You have.
Because I'm the guy, right, and I'm involved in the contest that actively selects the teams other than our own, I make sure I select the ones I have no clue on, or I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't lean one way or another. That's why I also don't have my picks in before I do the show.
Because okay.
I don't pick teams that I feel like I know this team's going to win. I'm not going to pick it.
Right. You want to, I see.
For the sake of fairness. Now, I could be some old evil-ass motherfucking Scrooge motherfucker that was like, I'm picking all the shit I know I got, but I don't do that.
You don't do it. Yeah, you're pretty fair with it. I see.
But I knew the Jags was going to beat the Cowboys. Knew that.
I did not. I mean, Cowgirls suck, but I thought that it'd be a close game, but I thought that they would win. I did. I thought that they would win.
Nah, I knew they was beating that one.
But you know what? That's the Cowgirls' problem. They were looking. They called it too. Micah Parsons and all them about them. They were looking past Jacksonville, not respecting them because they were talking shit about Philly. Y'all wasn't. That's what y'all get. That's exactly what y'all get.
Listen, now give me my props. Now I want to give me my props. Did I not say at the beginning of this season that they were going to be a team like that.
You said them in Detroit.
Correct, right? And now they're in a situation where they could possibly make the playoffs.
Right. They have a chance to.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As well as Detroit.
They do. Right.
Listen, I'm not trying to tell you that I know shit, but I'm trying to tell you that I know shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me ask you this, Cliff.
This is little old me without no connections. So what I suggest to all my showerheads out there is boom this motherfucker to the sky so I can get some connections, and you know I'm gonna keep y'all locked in.
Let me ask you this, Cliff. So
they gonna take me out type shit.
Now I don't want to again jump the gun, but so Jacksonville I'm seeing plays the Jets tomorrow.
Yep.
Did you have that as one of the games or no?
For sure.
Okay.
I usually always try to incorporate the Thursday game.
I think it's going to be a good matchup. Again, I'm not jumping the gun. I just think, just from a glance, like Wade Lawrence has been playing.
Right.
Jets
I don't think I always do the Monday game, but I do the Thursday, I believe.
Tomorrow, the point I'm getting at is tomorrow will be a good test for Trevor Lawrence.
Well, let's put it in now if you want to, just for that one.
All right. I got Jags by 7.
Ah,
you had Jags by 7?
I didn't have 7, but I did have Jags.
I got Jags by 7.
I think I might have to Price Is Right you and undercut that motherfucker and do Jags 3.
Jags 3, okay.
But I did have Jags, that's a fact.
Yeah, I think. Oh, you think it's going to be a close game? Okay.
Yeah, I do. I think the Jets defense is still going, do what they do.
That's going to be interesting.
And it's going to keep it in line. Because I don't know. I do know that the Jacksonville's defense has shown up. But it also depends on who they start. It depends on Zach and all that.
Well, I mean, to me, it doesn't even matter who they start. I just think that Trevor Lawrence and them are on such a Zay Jones, Trevor Lawrence.
Zay Jones been going nutty, and I sat him last week, and he gave me 35 or 38. I can't remember.
See?
I was so upset, because I replaced him with Peoples Jones just off of last week's conversation, and it is still true. Watson is targeting Peoples Jones a lot more lately, but Zay he's
a different beast.
He's the deep ball guy, and he got 2 of them, and I was just like, oh my gosh.
You wish you started him.
I was watching it, and I was like, oh my gosh.
He said, too late.
Too late to apologize. Man.
What else you got news wise? And say I got a couple quick things we can run through, hit the pickings, but I don't got nothing else on that.
Well, let me hit this then. Did you hear about ex-NFL Patriots linebacker?
Which one? That's a good question. OJ Mayo.
Damn, I didn't even write his name down. What's his name?
Eddie Bruschi.
The one nigga.
Mike Vrabel.
What's his name? God damn it. I'm supposed to be knowing what I'm talking about. What's the nigga's name? I gotta find his name before I explain the story. Hold up. I just looked up ex-Patriots linebacker arrested on assault. Willie McGinnis.
Willie McGinnis got in trouble?
Yes. I can't remember. I couldn't remember that name.
That's my
Willie
God.
McGinnis. He got well, first of all, he got arrested and he's facing assault with deadly weapon charges. In the videos online right now, apparently he was in a restaurant or a nightclub. I saw two different reports saying two different things. I thought it was a restaurant. And it's a nigga sitting at a table. I don't know if it's with the woman. It seems like it's with the woman because you can't see who's across really. And you see this big ass nigga Willie walk up with like 3 or 4 other motherfuckers. Put your fucking glasses back on, Shannon.
There it is. And as Shannon Sharp goes, he starts to
Yes, master. Yes.
And for all the shower heads that may or may not know, Cliff and I was just reciting the Shannon Sharp Skip Bayless when Skip went off about him being
that is the audio. That is yeah. I wasn't even thinking for the audio, huh?
lesser than Tom Brady. But anyways,
that's stupid. You stupid, man. You a stupid nigga, man. I fucks with you, but you stupid as shit. Oh yeah, so he walking through, right? So he walked up with like 4 motherfuckers and dudes just chilling there, like talking to whoever he's talking across from. I'm gonna send you the link.
Yeah.
And you see McGinnis come do, and he does the like lean down on him while he's in his booth, like talking, like lean down, like you knew it was instant problems based on how he leaned, like to talk to him, like it was almost like a child type situation. And you could tell dude probably didn't even know who it was immediately unless they had previous problems, because he immediately stood up like who's in my face, like, and as soon as he stood up, Willie hit him with one, and then the whole squad started jumping him in there, and they jumped him good. Like, they jumped him good. It was a good one.
Willie.
And the assault with a deadly weapon come into play because he grabbed a champagne bottle off of somebody's table and he started like uppercutting him while he was on his hands and knees with the champagne bottle. Now, granted, it didn't look like he was hitting him like hella hard with the bottle, but you're still hitting him with the bottle.
Willie.
That nigga 51. Willie. You 51 still getting in action like that?
I guess you ain't going to the Hall of Fame now, bro.
He's already in it.
Is he?
I believe so. I may be wrong.
He was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Wait, it says the team's Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay. So he's not. Oh, okay, so he's not. I don't know. I could be wrong. I thought he was, but
yeah, I'm looking here at a list. It says from the Patriots: Ty Law, Randy Moss, Junior Seau, Bill Parcells, Curtis Martin. Shout out my cousin. Andre Tippett, Nick, I can't say that. Mike Haynes, John Hanna. Yeah, that's it. And it's Adam Vinatieri's eligible in 2025, though. Tom Brady's eligible in 2027. Fun fact.
That's damn. It. Then you
Willie,
might be right.
They're not gonna let in.
But listen, this is what's crazy about it, right? Is because he turned himself in, I believe Tuesday. Bonded out on a $30,000 bond same day. They say he was only in there for 2 hours.
Right.
And his first statement that he released afterwards was, things aren't always what they seem on first glance. The truth will prevail. And it was more to the story that was alluding that something else happened.
Right.
But of course, you know, media is not going to provide that information.
Right.
But judging off of just lifestyle, regardless of what happened prior, if you didn't catch him in that situation, you on camera walking up to him off guard is a completely different situation.
Right.
Like, I don't know how, like, you're gonna argue that, though. You can argue that some bullshit took place, but I don't know how you're gonna argue just walking up doing that man like that.
See, and the problem is, like you said, Cliff, is
on film.
It's what's on film. You're right. If there is film, especially right, because if it wasn't film, it could be.
You can assume it's always film. If it's more than just you and them in the room,
sure, somebody's recording something. Oh, look,
you can assume it's always film.
Yeah, because it ain't no he say, she say. Because I definitely get what you're saying. Yeah, so that's Willie.
You fucked up on that. I gotta send you the link.
Yeah, please do, because I did not see that coming.
It's on TMZ, World Star, all the bullshit. You can look it up. I Googled it. I said ex-Patriots linebacker arrested on assault, and it popped right up.
I bet you Sean Merriman. What was his name? You know, I'm talking about Sean for the Chargers back in the day. Sean Merriman.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you he'll remake that video and say, "Remember, sign him up." Sign him up.
I thought you was talking about Sean Marion at first. I was like, no. In NFL what?
Right, no. Yeah, that's crap. Willie. Damn, Willie. Hey, look, Bill Belichick don't know you now. He gonna be like, Willie, who?
You stupid. Of course, R.I.P. ex-Steelers running back Franco Harris died today at 72 years old. God bless his family and all them. And like I said, the NFL don't treat they veterans the best way.
And Cliff, remind us.
God only knows what his family has been left with is what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? Unless he managed himself, you know.
Oh, he got bread. He had bread. They were talking about today. They're talking about today that he I'm not sure if it's still open, but a lot of them guys that played for the Steelers back then stayed in Pittsburgh and like even started businesses and stuff. Right. So I guess he had like a bakery and everything for a long time in Pittsburgh that he ran and operated and other shit I'm sure along the way. But Cliff, tell the viewers and the listeners out there what Franco Harris is known for and what team he did.
Fuck that. Fuck all that. I mean, fuck all that.
Oh, you gonna do my man like that?
God rest your soul. Fuck all that. Listen, you tell him.
He's known for the immaculate reception. It was a crazy play back in, I believe, the 70s?
It was early. It was it the 70s? It might have been early 80s.
And it was an AFC championship game because they ended up winning the game and it took them to the Super Bowl because it happened against the Raiders.
Right.
For everybody.
Where he caught up. Early 80s. You could be right, though.
But anyways, Franco Harris, legend for the Pittsburgh Steelers, running back. They said they have the statue, I didn't know this, of that immaculate reception, like a form of it in the Pittsburgh airport.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
I was like, man, okay.
I feel like
R.I.P. Franco.
Period. Hit the showers in that one way.
Hmm?
Go and hang him up gracefully.
Man. And it's crazy. Najee Harris said he just spent time with him last week. He said that there was an event going on for the Steelers, which Franco's always in town or, still a part of stuff. And Najee left to go help out, giving stuff out at a homeless shelter since that's how Najee came up in a homeless shelter. He said Franco left with him to go help out and everything. He left the Steelers event, was like, hey, I'm going to go Najee and go do this,
That's some what's up ass shit.
Oh, yeah, R.I.P.
Period.
What else you got new before we do pick'ems? You got anything else?
Last one. Indianapolis Colts benching Matt Ryan to start Mr. Statue himself.
Mr. You know what though? I always get sad, right? So
why you getting sad?
So right, I'll explain. Nick Foles has a statue with Doug Peterson before we do the Philly special play call to win that Super Bowl, which was now 4 years ago.
Right.
But the point is, I was upset when they let Nick Foles go out of Philly, especially after that end and everything with the hot hand and the Super Bowl and the MVP.
Right.
Just to see him, Cliff, go to teams after that and get a shot or to be a back. He's had a shitty career after that. Like his career has been shit. Like he's just been on shitty teams. He hasn't played the best. Like his one moment was there in Philly, that last end of the season. It came and gone that quick. That quick. Because look, if you probably don't remember this, after he did what he did, Cliff, Jacksonville signed him and paid him big money too. Because they were like, you just won a Super Bowl as a backup quarterback. You won the MVP. They signed him, man. Ever since then, it's been downhill for the man. Downhill. But it was like that though before he came to Philly. That's what's crazy too. If you remember when he played for the Rams, that was before Philly. Right. Shit, trash. So
I think, but it was no. Ooh, I got a hot take. But he was almost what Baker Mayfield is now. At that point, he was just passed around.
Yeah,
he was just passed around how to get used to system after system,
right?
And just make shit happen in places that he could.
He joined that group of the journeymen we talk about. He joined that group, even though
at what point in LA or no, they weren't LA. No, they
after
were
Philly.
LA.
After Philly. No, they were. I think they were St. Louis back when he was
right. Right.
But yeah, Cliff. I mean, after Philly is what I'm saying.
Right after. Well, right after he went to where? Miami?
Jacksonville. That's just what I was just telling you. They paid him big money.
Jacksonville. Okay, I knew it was somewhere in Florida.
And then you remember he went to Chicago. Went to Chicago for a little bit too. You probably forgot because they ain't do shit. They ain't get a chance to do shit. He started, but he started, but you know what I mean. It was a bad coach. Bad, you know what I mean. Didn't do shit.
Right.
Getting past, I just feel bad for the man.
No, it's definitely don't. Listen. It's funny you said it rounds it all the way back. Confidence, especially, and I don't mean that, but bring race into it, but it's always included. Let's be honest, especially for a white boy.
Right.
If you're a white quarterback and you don't have confidence,
that's an issue.
Man, motherfuckers ain't looking at you.
That's an issue. You gotta have that swagger.
Motherfucker, why is fucking Tannehill still playing quarterback?
He do got
Tannehill, the dude for the Saints. Is his name Tanner Hill or something? I don't know what.
You said for the Saints.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
Just got a fucking 40-something yard touchdown pass.
I should have started him in fantasy.
Just Brandon in the chat. Malcolm knows because he don't got no swagger. You need some of that Old Spice.
Now, I didn't want to do Brandon like this, but for laughs and giggles, and Brandon's been with
a light-skinned copperhead snake.
Right, and Brandon's been with his woman for almost 10 years now. I can say this, Brandon. At one point, you had to tell your woman to take down her Instagram like on my photo when you got with her, and she had to remove it. So I must have had enough swagger at some point because your baby mama used to...
You are a dirty son of a bitch.
But as he would do to me as well. It's all I know
you, but you are a dirty son of a bitch.
Now go ahead and debate that, just Brandon.
A dirty son of a bitch.
Hey, I didn't say no names though.
You completely wiped my
memory.
Yeah, what was we even talking about?
How if the only football Brandon knows.
Came back, he said Malcolm dream that with 3 laughing emojis.
Hey,
but we ain't here to talk about y'all's past. We're here to talk
about it's okay. It's okay, Brandon. I understand. It wasn't the first one.
You hear what we talking about?
It wasn't the first or the last one. But No, we was talking about Taysom Hill. Nice contract, getting paid, doing his thing, scoring touchdowns.
Oh no, that wasn't. I was talking about. I was using him as an example before
You talking about
what.
white quarterbacks happen to have confidence and everything. We talking about Nick Foles.
Oh right, and that's one thing. Taysom Hill has been trash at quarterback for his existence. He came off a little hot. He was decent a little bit, but they moved him. I did not say he was the first white quarterback to ever be moved to wide receiver.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
think of another.
Well,
I mean,
Tebow played tight
other
end.
in NFL, not like Wes Welker or
Tebow got moved to tight end.
no, he
Like,
didn't. No, he didn't. He tried to come back as a tight end.
well, that's what I mean because no one wanted him as a quarterback. So
Right, but he didn't get moved to. I'm saying like usually black quarterbacks, a lot Ohio State black quarterbacks, Terrell Pryor, Braxton Miller, all them. Soon as they come in, they like you're not a quarterback. The same way, arguably or not arguably, it's not arguably at all. The same way they tried to do to Lamar Jackson,
Mhm.
and he said no I am, and that's how he got his career he is currently at now. But I'm saying you don't see that coming from the opposite end of the spectrum with white quarterbacks. You don't see white quarterbacks ever being told, you know what, kid, you got enough athleticism. You're not a quarterback, you're now a receiver.
Right.
Q has him on his, well, had him on his fantasy team. Ask me why. Because he's listed as a tight end.
Oh, I just picked him up 2 weeks ago. I got him on my
Right.
squad.
And if he's healthy, why wouldn't you want him? He's a listed as a tight end that is a wide receiver that still throws passes that can catch.
Yeah, I'm about to start him over Mark Andrews this week, I think, even though I don't have a skin in the game
Nah,
because, you know,
I would think that you would have to.
right, because he,
Honestly, I think that I would if they allow you to continue playing him as a tight end,
right, they do. They still listed.
you have to play him over Mark Andrews. And
Yeah, I have
Mark
more.
Andrews had a little spark last week. I don't remember his stats exactly, but
Not enough because I got like
no,
3 points.
no, it wasn't enough. But he had a couple plays that I was like, okay, he's trying to come back.
Trying to.
But once again, usage rate. You use them too much, you're gonna have to be without them for a little while. But
Yeah.
moving on, well, let me ask you before we move on, because we was talking about Nicky Foles starting against the Chargers on Monday Night Football. I'm
But
gonna have to add that.
you skipped something very important though.
What I skip?
Vikings clinch NFC North title with the biggest comeback in NFL history against the Colts.
Well, no. But first, no, that our original point was Nicky Foles starting over Matt Ryan, and then we
Why
started
does
talking about other shit
but
afterwards.
wait, we didn't
So I
tell
didn't
we
skip.
right, okay.
I didn't skip. You just
All right.
jumped the line. Is what you
Okay.
did. But it's all right. I fucks with you. I still love you, my nigga.
Well, we gotta tell. Well, we gotta tell. My whole point is, I just wanted to explain the why they made that switch.
How much faith do you have in Mr. Statue in Philadelphia himself, Nick Foles?
Well, not at all because he's past his plateau.
Do you think? Or do you
Yeah.
think that, and this is me jumping out the window, or do you think that it could be similar to Odell where he sat for so long that he may have a lot of juice left? Because it's been proven nowadays that you can be a quarterback into your late 30s, even 40s, as long as you have a good, organization around you with a strong offensive line. Now
He doesn't.
but he sat enough to where he hadn't got a lot of usage out of him that he may still have a year or two left in his career.
He's
At
always he's
high
always
level.
sat. He's always sad enough, though. That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. So he may not be as worn as a lot of quarterbacks his age. So he
Put it
may
this
still have a
way.
couple years left.
Put it this way. You got an old car, whether you drive it or not, the longer it sits, you know, the
You're correct, but that I don't think it works the same with your body, right? Because a car can't move unless you start the keys. But that body can still be training like a starting quarterback, even though he's a fourth stringer. And I'm not
well,
saying that Foles is a fourth stringer. I'm just saying that we know he's not a starter. But if he's still working his engine the same way as if he was without taking the punishment, he may have a year or two left in his career. And we know he's good enough to win, right? You got his jersey. You had it on last week.
well, that's two different things, though. Well, three different things. Number one, we're talking about Nick Foles, me wearing his jersey. That was from 4 to 5 years ago,
I
right?
get
That's
it. I get it.
so that's a different Nick Foles, a different scenario. We're also talking about a Colts team who has Jeff Saturday as their interim coach, who just blew. So let me backtrack. You asked about, because you kind of changed a little bit. You said about him extending his career by not playing as
No, no,
much.
no, no, no. I wasn't really asking about that. I was just saying maybe that could be the case. Like,
Okay.
I wasn't really asking. Like,
Okay.
I might have said, "Do you think that could?" But you know what I mean. Like, I
Right.
wasn't.
Right.
But no, my original question was, how much faith do you have in
I don't.
Nicky Foles
I don't.
now
It's
leading the
it,
Colts?
it's not even fully just him though. It's the team. It's the setup around him. You have Jeff Saturday as the interim head coach, who again is now going to go down in history for
But
allowing.
weapon wise, they're not off.
They don't have any weapons. Jonathan Taylor's out for the
Yeah,
season.
he's out. Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
Right.
he's out. But
And other than that, there's nobody else. I'm looking at the roster
he
right
was
now.
out. He was out for a good little bit last year too, right?
Right. But
Right
last year
when Wentz
he had a
was there.
breakout. Who,
So,
Jonathan? No, Jonathan Taylor had a breakout year last year. I think he was only.
but he was out for a little bit.
I don't know. Last year he had a pretty solid year. I'm pretty sure.
Am I
Jonathan.
mixing up years? Wasn't last year
This
Carson
year he's
Wentz's
been.
first
This
year?
year he's been banged up. Carson Wentz was there. Let me see.
I may be confused.
He played for the Colts for only 1 year. Carson Wentz. It was just 2021.
Right.
But Jonathan Taylor had a great year that year. It's this
I
year
thought
that
he was hurt that year too.
no, last year he had an amazing year. I think he rushed for 2,000 yards. Let
He
me
was.
see.
He was the leading. He was the leading
Last
rusher in
year,
the NFL.
yeah, last year he wasn't hurt like that. Then he might have been hurt a little because he had 1,800 rushing yards.
Yeah, he was definitely the leading rusher in the NFL last year. I remember that, but could have swore he was hurt last
Might
year
be thinking
too.
of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was out last year with a foot
Nah,
injury.
that's not definitely not who I was
But
thinking.
anyways, no, Nick Foles won't do well. He's an interim head coach, who again is now going down in history for blowing the biggest comeback ever. That's terrible.
But
And there's no weapons, so
big but again, Nick
Uh-huh.
Foles is that guy, and I will give you peace in regards to liking Nick Foles when it comes to, like you said, I will manage the game. And sometimes that is more of a benefit than the guy who needs the coach to manage it.
yeah, but you got to
Nick
think about
Foles can come in and run some shit. I don't trust Carr to come in and run. Nick Foles can recognize the coach isn't as comfortable, been in this situation before. How can I help you help me type shit. Carr's not that guy at all. If you don't give me something, I don't know what I'm gonna do out there.
But Foles had a surrounding cast, though. That's also why he won. You could have put almost anybody in that was willing to manage the game like Foles did. Yeah, like you said, that's all he did. He didn't do anything crazy. He just managed the game well each time.
Now I think you're kind of like, and this is, I like it. Don't get me wrong, I like it a lot. But now I do think you're kind of being a little overly critical on your team when that's
72.3 completion percentage, 1,413 yards, 7 touchdowns, 4 interception, 96 QB rating. Is that good, Cliff?
Out of how many games though?
About half the season at least,
So
right?
at that, so right. So let's keep it cool. So at that point, that was a 16 game season. So that means he probably played in about 8 games, which is what I'm exactly saying about Joe Flacco. 5.5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 902 yards off of 3.5 games played. So what I'm saying is,
5 games.
but that you're talking about Foles, right? I'm just comparing the two. What I'm saying is, if you allowed them to manage the game for the entire season, you don't know that manager may not be employee of the month type shit. You know that he's gotten motherfuckers through a Super Bowl, correct?
But you already seen it with Andy Dalton, though.
Andy Dalton's never gotten a Super Bowl. He's never even gotten close. He's never even had a team to grant him the opportunity to come in late game and take it over the top. He hadn't had that opportunity. Nick Foles, at least we know, isn't going to curl up in that opportunity.
But he already had. That's what I'm saying. After, if you look at his stats after Philly, which I have him right here,
but
it's been.
You said it. That's different. It's different organizations. It's different shit. That's when I said he then became the Baker. Well, not then, but from the Rams, he became the Baker Mayfield. You're just thrown in, learn what you can, and if we need you, we'll call you up.
Put it this way, I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe Nick Foles' situation. It's like he was in the right place at the right time in Philly. 2018 in Philly.
I agree.
Outside of that, when he's taken it upon himself, no matter what team or system he's been in, the numbers just aren't there. They're just not. And I love Nick Foles, but let me preface this. I only love Nick Foles for what he did for my squad in 2018.
Right.
I don't love Nick Foles beyond that, before or after. I never did. But I loved him.
I feel like you were championing him for a while, and that may not be the best word. Championing may not be the best word. But I do feel like you were bigging him up for a while.
You can go back and play the tape. When I would talk about Nick Foles, I always talked about
him in the same boat.
Well, I always talked about that season. I never said Nick Foles' career or Nick Foles. I said Nick Foles was at a different table because of what he did that year, that season. But we all know, matter of fact, Nick Foles, I'm going to tell you this. That's my hot take. Nick Foles might be the only backup NFL MVP quarterback that we've seen be a journeyman.
Wait, repeat that again.
Foles might be the only backup Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback that you also see
right. But at the same time, I don't mean to round it. Well, I do mean to round it back, right? I said that you'll never see it in reverse. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't. Again, I don't mean never. Never's not the word I'm looking for. But you won't see it in reverse. You won't see the journeyman quarterback take you all the way and then the rookie win the Super Bowl for you. Because even in any given Sunday, what's his name?
I ain't seen that.
It's not Kevin Costner. That's Robin Hood. What is the dude's name? He had to come and dive into the end zone like Josh Allen for the win.
Right.
You've never seen Any Given Sunday?
No, I heard of it, though. I haven't seen that. Okay. Listen, the interesting thing about it, and I must have forgot about this. So Nick Foles actually played for the Eagles in a couple different stints. So he played for us from 2012 to 2014.
And didn't play at all. He might have played 3 games.
He played in 2013.
Right.
His best year of his career was actually 2013 in Philly, which is interesting. He threw for 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 119.2 QBR rating, 2,800 passing yards, 64 completion percentage. That was in 2013. So,
okay.
That again, that's my problem with him is I love him for what he did that year, but it just seems that aside from 2013, which we just talked about, that crazy stats, that's interesting. He just never panned out. And again, I wish him the best. I wish he would pan out. I hope he pans out, but it just doesn't. The numbers say otherwise.
Right.
That's what I'm saying about Nick Foles. The numbers just seem to say otherwise. Everywhere he's win. I didn't even know he played.
He playing the Chargers. Nick Foles, go ahead.
He played for the Chiefs in 2016. Did you know that? I had no idea.
No, I don't think I did.
You know what I mean? He's been around. And it doesn't pan. It's a journeyman.
But it's a reason why he's that good that every team's willing to pick him up too. That's different.
Is that why, or do they just feel like, slim pickings out there for backups?
I don't know, man. That's a long career for a journeyman backup. Usually journeymans don't last that long.
Ryan Fitzpatrick did. Kirk Cousins has. It's like the new trend now.
Wait. We know by far Kirk Cousins has way more starts in the league than Nick Foles, and I will argue Ryan Fitzpatrick may have double.
We're talking about being a journeyman, though. I'm not talking
about that's different, right? Because I don't even know if Kirk Cousins would fall into the journeyman category. He can fall into that boat that you speak of, but a journeyman category, that's a little different. Because at the same time, think about Justin Jefferson's season over the past two. That's connected to Kirk Cousins as well.
Right.
So even if he's a journeyman, his name's going to be linked to greatness. You can't really say that about a Foles. Who was his guy that he touched every time? Which almost argues for Foles. Foles didn't have that.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know.
And I'm not talking about Super Bowl seasons. I know you're thinking Eagles. I'm saying every other place they traded him to.
Right.
You don't have time to do that. So if I'm a journeyman that didn't even get a chance to lead the journey too much. I guarantee he still has a little time left, is all I'm getting at.
I mean, he's 33. We'll see. He's 33 years old.
He got some time left. He ain't done too much. But that was my last news topic, other than
J.C. Jackson, since you brought him up, I think a little bit ago, he's actually in jail in Massachusetts.
Bring him up. We were talking about the Chargers, but
something about him playing. I believe you said something about J.C. Jackson and the Chargers defense and all that. I thought I heard you say his name.
I might have, but I don't.
Yeah, he actually. I don't know what for. It's a non-domestic dispute or something, but he's actually booked in the Massachusetts jail.
Well, I don't like reporting on shit like that, right? Because we already know how the judicial system in general kind of leans towards us. So I don't really like reporting on shit like that unless I got a video seeing the shit.
Well, I don't care about that. The fact of the matter that I'm getting at is he's not going to be on the field. That's what I'm getting.
Right.
No, he's not going to be on the field, and that's a big impact.
That's definitely a big impact. I don't know how much of an impact it is with Nick Foles starting at quarterback, though. You might still be able to sneak in your 2 or your 3 out there, and it might not make a difference.
Right. But other than that, the last little bit I had was Drew Brees joins Purdue coaching staff as interim assistant head coach, which he didn't graduate from Purdue, I don't believe, but he went to school at Purdue, of course, to play football. I don't think.
Okay. You're saying I get what you mean by graduation.
Like he might have left early,
right?
But that was the last thing I had.
I like that. I didn't know that. I respect the fuck out of that.
Yeah, man, I'm glad he's still doing something football wise.
I respect the fuck out of that because it's almost the opposite of like a Steve Nash situation, where it's like, nah, I'm willing to work my way up even though I'm one of the best quarterbacks y'all heard of.
Right. Yeah, he's stepping in his alma mater.
Yeah, I
So
like
that'll
that. I
yeah.
like that.
But so what games did you have for these? I got a few just off of our teams. Like I off like some gimmies. I have a couple that I already had in my mind that you were gonna probably say.
Name one.
Like well, Bills versus Bears.
Of
You already had
course
that.
that, but I ain't have a pick.
I had Bills by 14.
Bills 14.
How many games is on here? One, two, three, four,
I had
five.
Bills, of course. I've never really thought. Oh, I wrote that in the wrong fucking spot. I wrote that in the wrong spot for you.
Oh, you good?
What the fuck? I'm going Bills 10.
Okay.
Wait, because Justin Fields did go out in the fourth quarter, and he hadn't really finished the game over the last four. He had a bye. I'm going Bills 10.
Yeah, I don't see nothing about him being injured or nothing. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, he doing that.
Bills 10. Okay. Um, did you have the Saints versus Browns on there? I'm sure.
Of course.
I got Brownies by 10.
Brownies 10, German.
Yeah, I think the Saints are just too bad right now.
Yeah, I figured that as well. I don't think that could be. I'm going 7. Brownie 7.
Brownies 7. Okay. Then I had the Ravens versus Atlanta. I'm stuck on that one, Cliff, only because, like you said,
Oh,
I'm
I didn't
interested.
have that. We can add it.
Oh, you didn't have Lester's Ravens?
Wait.
Ravens versus Falcons. Lester's Ravens. I know he ain't been on here, but
No, I sure didn't.
well, that's good then because I only had 7 out of what I got. So whatever one you have, if that makes sense, that should make it at least 8 because I always try to
Right.
even. But no, I was going to ask you.
Excuse
I'm
me.
stuck on that, Cliff, only because you got Huntley right, and you say he ain't been playing that good,
I'm
and then you
going
got
Falcons 10.
Desmond Ritter playing. Remember, Mariota's been out the rest of the season.
I'm going Falcons 10.
Okay, I picked the Atlanta as well, but I picked him by 3.
All right. All right. And is there a phenomenal?
Um, then we got fucking Eagles versus Dallas. Now I'm stuck, right? Because the whole Jalen Hurts thing. But to your point, I think our defense, as
Oh,
long as they
wait.
can.
I'm sorry. I should be announcing. Coach Mike also picked Jags versus Jets. He picked Jags 7 with Malk. He already sent his in. Brown Saints, he picked Browns 10 with Malk. It's crazy. And
Great.
then Bills Bears, he picked Bills 17. And now we're caught up. Oh no,
Uh,
Eagles Falcons. I need to
no, Eagles
Ravens
Cowboys.
Falcons. I need to figure that out. And go ahead with Eagles Cowboys.
Wait. You just gave your Ravens Falcons. You just told me what
No,
you
I'm
said.
saying his. I didn't write his down.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Eagles versus Dallas. I'm torn on that because of the whole Jalen Hurts situation. Like you said, though, with our defense, I'm hoping they can, hold Prescott and them to the fire. I'm still gonna go with Eagles, but I'm gonna say Eagles by 3. I think
Eagles 3. Okay.
If Gardner does play and he can manage the game, I think we'll be all right.
I like Gardner. I'm not gonna lie. I see why you say that.
I'm not gonna say I don't like Gardner. I don't how do I want to say this? I'm just hoping he can manage the game. I'm not saying that I think Gardner will go out and be lights out. If he is, it's great. I just need him to manage the
I'm going
offense.
Eagles 2.
Eagles too.
Yeah.
Hmm. Right now, the betting odds got Dallas by 6 with
I can
Jalen Hurts.
kind of see Dallas though too. At the same time, I've been something's telling me to change to Dallas, but you think wrong. You think wrong. I'm going with Eagles too. Um, Coach Mike said Cowboys 3,
Okay.
and then let's move on to the Bills Pats or Bengals Pats. That's why.
Bengals versus Pats.
Yeah, I wrote that.
Okay, that's cool. That's a game I didn't have, so that makes 8. I'm Bengals, of course.
So I thought.
Bengals by 14.
Ooh, that is perfect. That's exactly what I thought. Because I wrote Bills 14 in that spot. Beautiful. I'm going Bengals as well. Am I going 14 though?
Gotta get ready for the sports betting, Cliff. We got 2 weeks.
I think I'm going Bengals 10 again.
Bengals 10.
Yeah.
What Mike have?
He had Bengals 7.
Okay, and then we got Raiders versus Steelers, an old school match.
Right on my list. I'm going Raiders 3 on this.
I said Raiders by 10. I don't have faith in the Steelers at all.
You said Raiders 10. I don't have too much faith in the Raiders, if I'm being honest. Coach Mike said Raiders 3 too.
Yeah, I just feel like compared to the Steelers, I feel like you guys should win that game.
Should that's a key word there. Packers Dolphins next.
Dolphins by 17. I think Tyreek Hill and them are gonna have a field day.
I got Dolphins 13. Coach Mike has Dolphins 3. Last game, Giants Vikings.
Wait, that makes 9 games then.
Mm-hmm.
Do you usually do an odd amount or an even amount? Because what
usually even, but it's all right.
And you said it's who again?
Giants Vikings.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be that's a gimme game. That's gonna be Vikings. I'm gonna say Enter in Minnesota. Oh yeah, it's about to be bad news.
Don't tell me.
I'm gonna say Vikings by 14.
I got New York 13. At least you ain't picked mine.
Yeah, New York's just not. Yeah, they're just not them.
At least you ain't picked mine. That's cool. That's it. Vikings 13. Yeah. Coach Mike said Vikings 3. All right, who's hitting them? And we out of here.
I never even thought that far.
I didn't either.
That's crazy. Hit the showers, hit the showers, hit the showers, hit the showers.
I'm going RG3.
For that
Jigaboo slur. Fuck is
Jigaboo!
You used it, you didn't even know what you were talking about. Hit the showers, man.
Shower RG3. I'm gonna say why hit the showers. I mean, I hate to pick on them, but they're rivals, and it is Dallas week. So Cowgirls gotta hit the showers, baby. Y'all gotta hit the showers.
Hit the showers. He going with a shine.
Right.
You biased.
Dak is ass. Gotta be for your squad sometimes.
You biased. All right. Like, subscribe, share. Tell my shower heads. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell an enemy. Tell them to what mouth?
Troll.
Tell them to troll in this bitch. We out this motherfucker. Be good or be good at it.
Oh, and happy holidays, you filthy animal.
You filthy fucking animals. Happy holidays.